I
Yeah.
already
last?
reminded Rhodes. If you weren't paying attention when I said it, then that is on
I
you.
was playing WoW,
Court was not paying attention when he
flying
said it at
around
all.
as a dragon.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Please
Get-
stop.
Get in, bitches.
Twitch, I turned down my volume.
We're
Why
just
did you
switching
raise it
some
back up for an ad?
fans.
Because you have to hear
God.
the ad. You have to hear the monetization.
You have to hear the money coming in.
Thank you.
The capitalism, okay?
Yeah.
Hear the
Into it.
capitalism.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
All right. Well, I believe we're live since there is an
Yes.
ad. So, welcome everyone to tonight's episode of Decisions and Dragons. We're not going to do a recap yet because we have an intro. But before we start, just because I want to keep shoving love. I don't know why that's the word.
wow.
I went with. Showing love
That verb.
to.
Not at
It's
this
not
hour.
okay.
Not at this hour.
Ask
Not
for
at this
consent,
channel.
please.
Yeah, you can't shove love without asking for consent.
You miss say one thing, and then everyone's like, ah!
That's how parties die.
just like that.
I would like to show some love to some fantastic D&D tools that we have been consistently using throughout this campaign. First off, huge shout out to Foundry Tabletop. I actually have not given them a shout out previously, and they deserve the attention. They deserve the love. Foundry Tabletop is a fantastic tool to run your tabletop games if you're running digitally. Or even technically, if you wanted to run in person and you have a big old TV, like those gaming tables, one of those that I really, really want. This thing offers multiple different tools in terms of battle maps. You get your measuring tools, you get full HP tracker, you get an initiative tracker, you get all that fun stuff. And it works with, I don't even know how many different game systems. So if you run digitally, by all means, go check out Foundry Tabletop. I think it's like $50.
I'm
Like
For the
$50
license,
for the
one-time
program, and
fee.
only one person needs it.
Exactly. Everybody else, you just send a link to everybody else who doesn't have it, and then they can join your game using a web browser, which is pretty solid. So,
Is that like a once ever sort of
Mhm.
thing?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not a subscription.
and then you download modules. You can download a fun initiative tracker that adds a little thing under your character. You can add in weather effects. People have come up with their own modules to add to the system to make it more customizable for whatever it is that you need to do. So, by all means, go check out Foundry Tabletop. That's number one. And these other two I have mentioned in the past. They are irreplaceable for me as a DM. I love ambient sounds. I love music playing. So huge shout out to Monument Studios. They have currently a Fantasy Plus web player where they have gigabytes worth of license-free and copyright-free music. So if you stream like we do, if you are interested in looking at an independent music or ambient sound creator, by all means, check them out. They're awesome. And then also Sirenscape. Sirenscape is the official tool set of D&D, Pathfinder, and Cyberpunk, but they also offer sound sets for whatever kind of game you want to run, whether it's modern, fantasy, or sci-fi. So by all means, give them a shout out too. Give them a look as well. I can't talk. Why am I doing this? I should give sponsors to one of you people to handle, like Sam. Sam Riegel.
Hi.
You know what I mean.
You swear I work
Have you
for
ever
you,
thought
sir.
about using an online tool for D&D
I feel
sessions?
like giving
Try
it to Brian
Foundry.
would-
Hey,
I
Cujo?
think we have our ad person now.
Yeah, I'll even start doing stuff like this, just like, hi, how are you?
Oh my God.
We'll have our very own Sam Riegel-esque ad time at the
God.
very beginning of each episode. I am a fan of this. It is decided. I don't know. Oh, here's another little update. Sam, delegating. How are we doing on our extra life accumulations throughout the year? should have asked
I
you
actually have
before.
that pulled up, and
Oh.
I actually had something to say about that.
Okay.
Ooh.
So right now, we have raised $3,450 so far. Our original goal was 2250. So we blew that out of the water a long time ago. But donations are still open to the end of the year. For anybody unfamiliar, Extra Life is a charity that we at Nerd House Tabletop wholeheartedly support. We raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, such as Lurie Children's in Chicago. We've got a couple of milestones that we were hoping for before the end of this year, including an all DMs game, and me shaving this glorious beard that I have. And because it is December, we only have a few weeks left before the end of the year. I am feeling particularly charitable, and that $5,000 mark to shave my beard, I am gonna drop that a little bit. That if we hit an even 4,000 before the end of the year, I will shave my beard, and I will go
boy.
clean, and I will film it and post it on our Facebook, and I'll get a TikTok, I guess, or just to give Cujo the file, because I know Cujo,
We
He's
should
got
actually look into
small
a
presence.
Nerd House Tabletop TikTok.
yeah.
That would be awesome, actually.
We should totally do that.
But we did such an amazing job this year raising money that see, even the dog agrees.
What? Okay.
Sam, I
it
think your
didn't-
Amazon package is
I'll be
here.
right back. Keep stalling.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we right now we are at 3450 at 4,000. And I'll even make a case that we should do that DMs game at like 36.
I'm down for that.
Because
I'm 100% down
I
for that.
really want that to happen.
Yeah. Also, side note, Spencer barking did not sound like a dog barking. Spencer sounded like an old man coughing near Sam. That's all that came through, and I was like, "Who is there?
Who's
do you
in
have
your
here?"
house?
You're
My
like-
old
you're like-
man.
You're like Gazoon.
He is an old man.
I will
Aw.
say I did drop on the last Facebook post I made yesterday. I think I dropped the gold for the DM.
35.
Yeah, because
I just said 36.
30, either
So
way.
30. I could do 35. That is a short $50 away. So
If we hit 3,600 in the DMs game, I'll eat a piece of lemon.
Okay, I need you to just admit you
I
like it.
Cujo, I think you just
Yeah.
like lemons.
Yeah.
I like
What?
raising money for kids.
You
I
like
think you-
lemons
And
in
lemons.
the
I
Yeah.
will put myself.
Cujo, I
and
think
my
you should
health
do
on the
a
line.
different fruit. I think you should do
A different
like
fruit. A banana. I'm
Durian.
fine with eating a banana.
No, a
no,
lime.
What was
A
the
lime.
Malort?
A
no.
lot. Well,
I don't think a
Wow.
lime is enough.
Oh, lime. Ugh.
I'm thinking
Mine. other goal was
I'm
a
thinking a
D6
durian.
Yeah, durian. Fruit.
Yeah.
If we hit
Oh,
6,000, I'll eat a
Supposedly
lemon.
those don't taste that bad. It's just
I know,
pungent
but
smell.
you have to get through the smell first.
All right, here's what we need to do, guys. We need to take a lemon, and we need to
Jesus.
put it
Soak it in
inside
Malort.
Malort,
Mm-hmm.
and just
I like
let it sit for a little bit, and that's what he has to do.
Marinade, if you
what
will.
if he
Yeah,
drinks the
pickle it.
Malort?
Pickling it, yeah.
Lemon in Malort.
Guys, I have really bad news.
You're just adding HP to the boss. Every time you keep adding.
Someone just donated $150. So we are at $3,600 now.
Oh, cool.
So
Uh,
is it the
Yeah, I don't have it open.
Okay.
Oh, hello, Starfish.
Oh,
Uh,
hi,
You're just in
Starfish.
time.
I'm gonna assume that the perpetrators are.
In our party? Possibly.
Court shaking her head.
No, it's Tina.
I was like trying to
Tina's-
get my payment through. Somebody beat me.
Tina's
to it.
Tina's trying to hold back his
You wanna
smile.
know how I know it was Tina? Because the message says even numbers.
As soon as you said it was 34.50, that bothered me a lot. And then I was like, but I personally want to see the DM game.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to see this. So
All right. So everybody, we've cracked the code. Someone donate $1.
you don't understand how much it irritates me. I round like the store things where they're like, "Do you want to round up?" Yes, I like whole numbers. Makes my life much easier. Plus, it's for the kids, and it's the end of the year, and it's Christmas time. So,
True story.
and I want to watch this DM game really, really bad. So,
All right. Well, I believe that is all of our announcements. So let's jump into tonight's episode of Decisions and Dragons. We have to get live action stuff.
Actually
do that.
cosplay our characters.
Welcome back. So, when last we left our intrepid heroes, they had ventured into the Feywild in hopes to rescue a very close compatriot of our dear Faraday, a dragonborn who had taught her the ways of the Blood Hunter. After arriving in the Feywild, unfortunately, the party had seen that they had been split up by some unknown magic. After dealing with some unwelcome introductions, thanks to some of the Eladrin who had seemed to know exactly where you would end up, the party was able to be reunited, and they had freed 2 of these Eladrin from the same seemingly mind-controlling slug that they had encountered multiple times. With this, they came to certain revelations with information they had gathered. First off, there was a mysterious new pet, quote unquote, that Novus had recruited to their cause, seemingly to fill the role that our dear Faraday had left open. In addition, Faraday had a realization that there were memories of hers that had been buried from possibly from time, trauma, maybe emotions just preventing the realization from coming to mind, that Faraday and Novus both originated not from the Exandrian Feywild, but from Bivens Feywild, seeming that her parents had offered her to Novus in order to bring her to safety. And that is where Novus had traveled from Bivens Feywild to the Exandrian Feywild and slowly worked up the ranks, keeping Faraday very close at their side. The party had come up with a plan. Faraday was going to give Novus exactly what they wanted. Waltz right into the party and sort of deal with whatever consequences happened thereafter, with Thurston having shifted form into Dermot to sort of pose as her satyr companion. No, that was
We
not
talked about it, but
We
that's not
talked
what we
about
did.
it, but I nixed it. Dermot's coming.
JK. Moving on.
Thurston's gonna go be
The-
distraction somewhere else.
That's right. The remainder of the party, which consists of Cadriel, Arathea, Ceto, Thurston, and a mysterious elf named Kyoko, who had seemed to have also been a target of Novus due to some shenanigans from an event past, were going to attempt to sneak into the manor, following a map that Faraday had drawn up in order to locate and free her companion. That is where we left off. So, I'm going to start with Faraday and Dermot. The two of you begin walking down the path, headed directly for the front gates into the very lavishly decorated and nature-reclaimed courtyard to a large stone castle that looked to have belonged to some far-gone civilization that either through a combination of nature's just slowly reclamation and most likely with some Feywild magic, sort of redecorated itself to have this very Art Nouveau nature vibe. A lot of the holes in the roof of the castle were replaced by large golden-like leaves sort of scaling on top of one another to form a roof. A lot of the stonework seemingly repaired by vines that have crawled up from the ground to replace what was lost by time. This is beautiful and unnerving all at once. You can see that in this courtyard, let me actually switch over the sounds here. As you approach, there are sounds of merriment. And as the closer you get, you can start to see a little bit over the wall as you're coming from a hilltop. You can see hundreds of Feywild residents, all seemingly gathered in this big celebration. You see what looks to be fire breathers, you see dancers, you see all different manner of people just enjoying themselves and celebrating, almost like you're walking into a carnival. As you approach, there are a number of Singorian elves wearing similar garb, armor that you had spotted before entering the Feywild, the blue and gold sort of filigree on their personage. Two of them approach, keeping a weather hand at their side where their swords are sheathed. But they don't approach with any sort of malice. They merely approach and state, "Holy shit, that music is really loud." That is not what they state. That was me, the DM. Funny thing about Sirenscape
They
is
state that we're at the circus.
you were at the circus. They state, "Master Novus is expecting your arrival, Lady Faraday. And Mr. Dermot, you as well are expected.
We had heard that.
Both of you may enter and speak with the Master as soon as possible. I must ask, however, your traveling companions, are they amongst your number somewhere?"
I make like kind of a big show of like, I don't think so, no.
Make a deception check. One of you or both of you, or
Unless you want me to.
You're gonna let Dermot do that.
I mean, I have a +4 to it, but it's no like plus a million.
I mean, it's worth asking. Are you aiding me?
Can I? In,
I'll say yeah.
in a
Give him
it's
advantage.
just us.
Well, I'll definitely take that 19 over the 4. So that is a 27.
The 27, the guard nods and says, "Please enter, enjoy yourselves. Know that you are honored guests of Prince Novus, soon to be King Novus." And they step to the side and leave the entryway open to you.
I kind of like hold out an elbow. And we kind of do that at the same time, like. Are we shaking hands? Are we hugging? I don't know what to do.
Take your arm.
All right. You two step through the entryway and are immediately drawn into the sounds of the party happening all around you. You hear the clinking of glasses as Feywild residents are enjoying some drinks. You hear the laughter of small children. You hear all manner of celebration around you. I'm going to quickly cut back to the rest of the group. Now, for the rest
I'll
of you.
be back in just a second.
Okay. The rest of the party. You know that the manor itself is essentially nestled at the very edge of a Feywild forest where the trees grow hundreds of feet tall. You know that, similar to the forest you had been just sort of reconvening in, that there could be some possible dangers either from the living trees, perhaps some of the mushrooms, perhaps some other denizens of the area. You know that if you were to make it through, and this is essentially from the map that Faraday had given you. This is just information I'm just going to give you that way. You know that if you do make it through the route that Faraday had outlined in her map, you will be able to enter the castle into the kitchen. From there, you'll have somewhat easy access to a set of stairs, but whoever is patrolling inside, any sentries that are left inside to guard, that's sort of up in the air. She did draw out that route for you. The only other viable entrance would be the very same route that Faraday and Dermot are taking. So, just to make sure, what is your plan?
Do you guys want me to turn into some sort of farm animal that you're bringing in for slaughter?
We could certainly do that, though we would have to pass you off probably at some point. That would be a little nerve-wracking.
I can play dead.
Although, could you look like...
Yes. I suppose if they just did enough damage, you would just revert back to normal.
Which would be really
So, like,
awkward.
yeah.
The ritual slaughtering, and then suddenly it's not quite... Well, maybe that is the ritual. Okay.
Yeah, the ritual slaughtering. I'm in the center of like this huge room with all the like nobles and everything looking around. Then all of a sudden it's just, oh hey, what's up, guys? Like,
You could offer them a flower.
You know, that might not be the worst thing. I mean, it would certainly cause a distraction.
Well, my
It
thing was,
would.
Thurston, you can look like, well, anyone. Within
Sure.
reason. Within reason.
Yeah, it works best if I've met them, obviously, and know what they look like. But I guess I could just change generically, look like a random person, I guess.
Well, I'm saying you could probably move through the kitchens or somewhere if you get a good look at what the folks are wearing and all of that. So that could work. I mean, we would stick out a bit, but...
Where are the... No, I'm sorry, I can't remember the sisters. Did they go with Dermot and Faraday?
I believe they did.
Yeah, they were going to go with
Aren't they
Dermot
supposed
and
to escort
Faraday.
them?
Yes. They were escorting Dermot and Faraday through the front entrance.
I could just
picture that in the previous thing that they were totally like, yeah, we're bringing them in.
Yeah.
They were standing behind. They just didn't get. Nobody spoke to them. It was fine. Whatever.
I mean, seems like...
I could just look like one of the sisters. I would at least belong in the castle.
That would work.
But it doesn't change what I'm wearing.
Oh.
It's just the physical
Well,
nature.
We probably have a spare change of clothes if you need to
borrow
something.
clothes, yeah.
Starfish, I see you in chat.
I'm just... If you're comfortable with that, Have we ran into any male Eladrin? I
it doesn't
but yeah.
matter. Whatever is necessary.
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose I just have to borrow someone's clothes. And he kind of realizes, like, well, it's probably not going to be Arthia's because she's usually wearing dresses, and that doesn't make sense. So probably about to borrow either Cad or Fariday's clothes.
Yeah.
We'll pick up her coat that she knows Thurston likes and
Yeah.
hand it over. And she'll pull out of her bag some of her clothes that are not her old armor, maybe. You know, like her old leather armor. It's not studded. It's not like magical, or it's just her. You can wear this. Never seen you in leather before, but
Oh.
with the coat, you could make it work, I think.
He's gonna take the coat and he's gonna like look at you as you're holding the armor. He's like, someone's going to have to tell me how you put that on.
Oh, I mean, I can help you. It might be a little big in the...
You need me like
You know.
minor illusion, the screen of some kind? Curtain?
Yeah, is there like a tree he can go stand behind as he like has to go?
I was like,
You
yeah.
go to stand behind a tree and you hear, "Oh, give me just one moment," and you see one of the branches lower to give you privacy.
That was actually.
I will make sure no one sneaks a peek.
Because like even if it's not his body that is going to be naked and changing, it's still impolite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not okay.
And I mean, it is his body too. It's just different.
Yeah. So he's going to change. So go ahead.
I just like the fact that all of Cujo's like small prey animals are kind of douchey, but it is more than made up for in how gentlemanly the trees are.
Little animals
Arthea?
are assholes.
Arthea, were you asking if there was another Eladrin around?
Yes.
There was one when I got here. There was one who was trying to get me out of the plane. And then we proceeded to attack her.
Kick her ass, yes.
In a very aggressive sort of way. She lived, and I kind of look over at the other Eladrins. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, we did it. We.
But just so you know, I know you were just asking. So there is at least one more.
Okay, so there's one that would,
in
theory, would recognize you if they saw you.
Potentially.
Okay. Well, but you can change into.
Yeah, I could change into something else.
You can change into something else.
That
Person
one,
can change.
They were more of like, kind of had, almost reminded me of like fall, a little bit, or autumn, if you will.
Summer. We'll say this conversation happens before Faraday and Dermot leave, but you just hear Summer go, "Ugh, goody two shoes, great."
I mean, okay, so Kat, are you thinking to sneak?
I mean, why would I not?
I'm saying more than usual. Are you thinking to go in fully unseen?
Well, no offense, but if we're looking to go in as a group, that might be a little bit difficult for... Not for me, but...
Are you trying to hint at something?
Thurston walks from behind the tree looking like the summer Eladrin. He tried to put the leather armor on and it's all fucked up. And he's like, yeah, changing my form doesn't give me the person's skill set. He says he's got like he put his arm through the like where the head goes. He's like,
no.
Oh my god.
Do you mind if I...
Summer just like holds a hand up to everybody else and is like, hold on, and then steps up and starts helping you put the armor on.
Yeah, Kat goes up and she like undoes like some buckles here and there and like straightens it out and like
I mean,
yeah.
is there an option for just like having Eladrin here kind of escort us in as if we've been caught?
I mean, that's kind of already the plan with her. So
I mean, if you two escort Dermot and Faraday, and I can go through looking like you, points to the Summer Ladrin, with these guys in the back, and if anybody questions, then they're with me.
So if you are escorting Sito and Arthea, I can
Break off.
yes, not too far from you, mind you, but
I can probably help you at least stay out of sight.
Cujo, I have a question.
I may have an answer.
Are we doing a short rest right now?
I'd say you guys have had a long enough time to take a short rest. So if you want to heal any hit points, if you have any features that replenish after a short rest, by all means, do that thing.
Does that count for everybody?
Yeah.
If
does
you want,
aid the hit points that we got from what Thurston did, we still keep that through
Yeah.
a short rest.
I'll
right?
say yeah. That's fine. You guys can
That's
keep
8
that.
hours.
Brian,
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
8 hours. Doesn't reset or anything yet.
if you want, when I got here, I was studying some of the birds that were flying overhead. I might be able to just change into one of those and
Yes, that would be
kind of
wonderful.
fit in there.
I think the less people, at least right now, before we cause a huge ruckus inside and obviously draw lots of attention,
Mm-hmm.
we need to get inside. So I feel like you have many ways you can change to all sorts of things.
True.
Plus, if you're a bird, you can probably get a good view of, well, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give you some additional help with the sneaking.
I do love the additional help, but if it's a resource for you that you think you may need later, then save it. I don't know what we're going to face in there, and I'm pretty sneaky on my own.
Yeah, I know. It's
Perhaps
scary at this point.
Perhaps I don't know. I just worry if we burn too many things ahead of time that we might not have the resources to get in and out. And despite what Faraday says, I'm not leaving without her.
Oh no, absolutely not. I think we're all agreed on that, right? That whole
Mhm.
we're gonna go meet back at the wishing well and leave them here, that's not happening.
No, that's just
That's
stupid.
ridiculous.
Okay. So I figured that was just understood, but good to confirm.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind walking in with someone if that's the best way for me to go. I mean, I can, well, vanish from sight, but that doesn't really help with the sound and the tripping and that part of things.
We need to get you some boots of Elvenkind.
What's wrong? These boots are nothing wrong with my boots. There's things wrong with my legs.
Well, I can't help you there, but
All right. So just to
All
double
right.
check,
We're gonna
we've got Cedo is gonna shift into a bird and try to fly in that way. We've got Cadriel, who's going to sneaky ninja her way through. Arthea and Thurston, just to make sure. Thurston, you were going to look like the summer Eladrin and bring in prisoners, right?
I'm planning on looking like that particular Summer Eladrin.
Okay.
And so if Arthea comes with me, at least she's an elf, and so could feasibly blend in a little bit more, and be like, yeah, no, she's with me. Don't worry about it.
Found her
Okay.
wandering
I can always
outside.
escort her
Yeah.
through.
Just to be clear, for you two specifically, are you going through the front gate or are you going to try to go through the side entrance into the kitchens?
If they
Kitchen.
went through if they went through the front, I'll go through the back so that it's not like,
Yeah.
didn't I just see you 2 seconds ago? What the fuck?
What the
We're
fuck?
team backdoor.
You know what?
Okay.
Or don't ever say that again, please. I heard you.
We are not.
Kyoko
Yes.
is going to accompany Thurston and Arthea that route.
Okay.
Quick note, Cadriel, are you going through the front or through the side?
You're going through the side. You have to lead us to.
Yes,
You have to lead us.
She's not gonna leave the group. She knows Faraday would prefer she stay with the others to lead them through.
That's very
Okay.
You
good.
have-
All right.
You have the map.
Have the map.
Well, yes, that
All
too.
right. Sounds good. So,
If you leave Sito, Thurston, and Arthea with no map to wander around this place, we will get lost and distracted.
It's really true.
Oh yeah.
We
You're like,
honestly
why am I
will.
here?
you're already distracted.
The
You guys
three
are
of
great.
us.
Let's just stay here.
The
Yeah.
three of us. What three of us will
She's
probably
gonna
find
a
something
hot tub
really.
spa room.
Yeah, like really. Probably really nice.
Crown molding
Actually.
here is beautifully done. I should really
Yeah.
think about renovating the second floor landing. This is great.
You're like
See, I
talking
wouldn't-
at a tree about crown molding, and he's like, "My cousin made that wall."
My cousin is that
About-
wall.
Well, my cousin is that wall.
Can I estimate about how long it's going to take for us to kind of do this initial sort of entry? Because I know we have to walk a little bit to get to this place. There's something I want to cast, but it has a length after that for which it's active, and I don't know if it's practical to do it now or if it's just going to run out before we get there.
Gotcha.
Because it has like
I
a
will
1 hour
say,
duration.
if both groups are leaving at the same time, those hoping to get in through the kitchen entrance, it's going to take maybe an extra, if everything goes well, 10, 20 minutes. So it's not
Alright.
that long, but there is some stuff in the forest that may cause a problem.
Okay. So in terms of what Arthea would know, it's probably a bit more practical to hold off on anything that might be time limited and do it if it's intended to be active while we're inside the castle. Wait till we get through the. Okay. Then I will hold off on casting.
Sounds good. With that in mind, you will all set out. Now, Sito, are you just flying kind of overhead as one of those birds, or are you staying as a gnome for the meantime?
That's what I was gonna ask the group. So hey guys, I have a couple options that we can do here. Obviously, I can change into a bird right this second, and I'll love it. Or I could wait till we get a little bit closer, then secretly change into a bird and then fly around. Or if you wanted, I could just change into like a little rat or something, and just hang out in your pocket.
That's really true. You could, and then you could scurry through.
That's true.
You probably get into spaces that we might not be able to.
Hmm.
Do we have any way to communicate with you while you're out and about?
I don't know. Can we communicate?
I
Cujo?
don't know if we do, actually. I'm just thinking about it, and
Yeah, I mean, I could squawk for sure. So-
Right.
yeah.
And when you are wild shaped, you can understand your companions around you
Mhm.
in terms of communicating back to them. Unless you have
Speak
some
with
sort
animals.
of telepathy, or if they have speak with animals active or something like that, that's really the only means to have a two-way conversation.
Who has speak with animals?
Nope,
Perfect.
nope.
I have light.
Well,
I'm just gonna
here
push it off.
I have something that might be able to help. He pulls out a just a staff, and he's like, this staff here has you if you cast it, just it only has one charge of it, but you can speak with animals using this thing.
Are you sure you don't need? What? Maybe hold on to it till you change,
Sure.
and then that would be useful though, just in case. You know, we don't want you to have to turn back into a gnome just to tell us something important.
Of course.
I mean, if it's something deadly, you can just squawk at us or chitter at us or click at us.
Yeah.
But
Standard animal noises that Cedo makes.
that seems to translate very well across species.
Hmm.
All right.
All right.
You guys start heading towards the forest. In that group, everybody go ahead and give me a survival check.
Survival.
Oh,
We don't roll
cool.
that very often.
Oh,
8?
11-y.
14.
Okay.
We're gonna die.
We're gonna die in this forest.
And Cadriel.
12.
Oh, 12. I didn't hear 12. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All I saw was you doing this, like hiding.
I said 12.
Got it. So as both groups start to descend the hill, Faraday, Dermot, and the two Eladrin splinter off, and you all continue towards the forest that's immediately in front of you. Keeping a weather eye on the direction of where the castle is, you step into the woods and begin traveling. As you continue walking, you could have swore the castle was right there. And you start looking around and realize that the trees themselves seem to shift positions, making it a little difficult to remember
Nature's
which direction you're
bullshit.
supposed to go.
I think this is one of
Nature's
those things.
bullshit.
No. Remember when we were in Sangorn, they said we had to focus on where we wanted to be.
Sangorn is also bullshit.
That's true, but it worked very well there, and I think it can't really hurt to do that. And just you have to visualize where you want to go. She looks like
That's
it's like look of intense concentration.
Yoko's like, what?
I think it's sort of almost like the Feywild will try to trick you, and you almost have to will yourself into not being tricked. Is how I'm understanding it.
If Feywild tricks me, I'm gonna kick its ass. And she starts glaring at the trees.
Please, by all means.
No, we shouldn't threaten it up front. Should be fair. Should at least be polite to start with. Don't give it any reasons.
So no, actually, she says be polite. He'll actually like turn and look at a tree and say, "Excuse me."
You see, slowly moving along the bark, this gnarled old face. What do you want?
Look, and he's like, he's trying to do his best impersonation of the summer Eladrin since he's in that form. Look, I don't really have time for the games right now. I need to get back for this party. Could you guys not?
First off,
So good.
fantastic impression. Secondly, make me a persuasion check.
22.
With a 22, sorry about the blasting music once again. With a 22, you see the face go, "Hey, enough with the shenanigans." And you hear like similar grumpy voices echo out as all the other trees respond with something like, "These damn elves." And you see like some of the trees like pick up and start moving. "Back in my days, we could go wherever we wanted." Like the whole forest around you. Excuse me. Piece of spittle just flew into the back of my throat. Everything
Apple
starts to
Bannock.
move a little bit in your area, and in the distance you can see the glimmer of the tallest tower of the castle, giving you the direction to walk once again. While you guys continue forward, we're going to shift back to Faraday and Dermot.
I was so excited for today. I feel like I'm gonna vomit now.
I'll be right
back.
I feel like I'm gonna...
I'm so
So,
excited.
You guys step through, and immediately you feel eyes on you as several different creatures you can see at this party turn and look in your direction. You can see um, beautiful dryads, similar to the same sort of race that Novus is, but with flower petals that sort of drape down, almost like long, beautiful curled hair. You see one of them sort of nervously pull as they just stare with their sort of amber-like eyes in your direction. You see some Singorian elves, still armored up but their helmets removed, enjoying what seems to be a glass of wine, turn and keep a very intense eye on you. You see all these creatures, and you even hear around you as some of the conversation lulls just slightly. Not enough to warrant total silence, but enough that it's noticeable. And just as you sort of key into that, stepping through the crowd of people, you see someone you recognize, specifically Dermot. You see a man wearing a very loud red jacket with a black lapel, with a long black top hat with red curls that sort of curl under right where the sideburns are, and a very curled, waxed mustache. You see this is the MC from your Battle of the Bards. Says, "Oh, welcome, Dermot of Ferry, the Battle of the Bards champion. We've been anxiously expecting your arrival, haven't we, everyone?" And you hear like some of the people around are like, "Okay, yeah, that's them." Like you just see this realization hit everybody's face. "And Lady Faraday, welcome to soon-to-be King Novus's crowning ceremony. Uh, Wonderful to see you
Coronation
again."
is the word you're looking for.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I've had one too many drinks of wine, it seems.
Like gripping Dermot's bicep.
Well, are there any libations I can provide? Perhaps a little bit of merriment?
I'm
We were told that Novus wanted to speak with us, so
Well,
we are headed in that direction. I don't suppose you could point the way.
Oh, I shall lead you there myself because I can. And he says that.
Oh God.
I need you both to make a wisdom saving throw. As though there's a little bit of a glamour that sort of envelops off of this host before you.
charm condition?
This is a charm condition, yes.
Well,
$18.
Okay. Faraday. The moment he says can, you hear music around you that just uplifts your spirits, and you think, oh, this is a party. I can enjoy myself. This is fine. I can have a couple drinks. It's not that big of a deal. You feel yourself sort of give in to the vibe that's around you, and your immediate instinct is follow him and accept whatever libations are offered to you along the way.
okay.
Dermot, you recognize this charm, having experienced this a couple times when you were in the Feywild yourself.
Probably
And-
having done it to people.
Yeah, probably. And you instinctually just shrug it off.
Can I make an insight check to determine if I get the impression that Faraday may have failed her saving throw?
Well, before you do that, Faraday, how does she act with this new sudden desire to party?
Right, she had your bicep in like a vice, like out of nerves and just like trying to steady herself and be grounded by gripping onto you. And as soon as her hand relaxes, like immediately she lets go, and you watch as like she turns spring.
Oh,
Nice spring.
shit. All right.
Which not is what she was almost perpetually in, and what she doesn't.
With that, Dermot, I'm going to say, given your close relationship with Faraday, you do not need an insight check to
Okay.
know that she came under the influence of this charm.
Spring? That's not on brand for you right now.
As the MC turns and starts walking through, this music starts to get louder and louder and louder. As I'm dropping a few frames here and there. Oh,
Here we are.
no! Don't you do it!
I will, as we begin to walk, I will kind of steer myself in between the MC, our new guide. Cujo, did he have a name? I thought he had a name.
I can't remember the name that I had given him, so instead, I'm just gonna give him the character name that he is based upon. Harold fucking Ziedler of Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
MC Hammer.
What was it?
MC Hammer.
MC
No, it's MC Harold.
MC Harold? Yeah, that's So Jeremy, you said you're gonna reposition yourself
I'm gonna reposition myself between Harold and Faraday. And in time, like kind of using the music to my advantage, I begin singing singing a song that is just, a little bit we're off to see the wizard, a little bit cut that shit out.
Just kind of like
Okay.
bouncing to the
And I am going to be performing a counter charm, which gives Faraday advantage on that wisdom saving throw if she'd like to try and make it again.
I already have advantage. Just rolled shitty.
All
But I
right.
appreciate the
I've
effort.
done all I can.
Here's what I will say. So the music starts playing this loud, raucous sort of dance beat where the MC, Harold Ziedler, is singing "Because we can," and just like going crazy with it, and everybody around goes from being apprehensive to jumping up and dancing with merriment. Everybody's partying. You find your moments, Dermot, to introduce your own lyrics as you are also playing your counter charm, but Bard versus Bard, you realize that he is also consistently casting something too. So, Faraday, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Does this man really want to bard off with Dermot O'Ferry?
It's Harold Ziedler,
Oh
buddy.
shit!
Yeah, I'm the
luck,
satyr
we're all counting on
who
you.
took down fucking Scanlan Shorthalt.
True, but this is the Feywild, and everything's a little cranked up. With that in mind, Faraday, your advantage is not going to play into effect as Harold's charm cancels out the advantage that Dermot would be giving you.
The elf advantage doesn't affect.
You know what? Considering you have two things that are going to give you advantage, I'll say go ahead and roll with advantage. You are correct. I will
No,
let
it's
it
totally
slide.
that's totally fine.
Yeah. I forgot about your elven advantage
Yeah.
stuff.
Again, I rolled garbage last time, except I got a nat 20 this time.
There you go.
Yo.
I will say it does take about a minute, but in that minute, taking in everybody dancing around you, drinks are being handed off to everybody. You see little stalls where people are just, it's almost like a flash mob where everybody's dancing and doing a routine that
Like,
like they
everyone
would have
knows the
needed
same
weeks to
dance?
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in time with that, people are grabbing a glass and drinking. In that minute, you had the desire to join in. So I'll say that even though you're right behind Dermot, I'm gonna say you grab one of those and drink. I'll need a Constitution saving throw.
Can I roll
19.
like a dex or an attack? I'm just gonna hit it out of her hand.
I will say if
I
you
know
go,
that she knows better.
here's the thing. You are playing your counter charm at the same time. So if you do want to slap it out of her hand, that's fine. She'll then have to re-roll her wisdom saving throw, as your counter charm will have been interrupted. So it's up to you. I leave it up to you as the player.
I trust my ability as a bard more than my ability as a whack shit out of Faraday's hand.
And
He has to jump to reach her face anyway.
That's fair. Okay. So you said 19 for your con save, yeah? Okay. So you take the drink, and I'll say mid-drink is when the charm wears off. And for a moment, it tastes like the sweetest honey nectar, slightly alcoholic drink that you've ever tasted. It's sweet, it's savory, it slides down your gullet just fine. But the moment it passes your taste buds, you feel it turn. And for a moment, you have to resist the urge to let it control you as you feel the heat go down into your intestines and into your stomach. You are not poisoned. So what you do from here, you now have this glass of mostly full, beautiful golden liquid in your hand as your faculties come back to you.
She's going to maybe not be as bouncy, but she's not gonna let the stay spring and kind of play into it. She'll give Dermot's like arm a squeeze, kind of, acknowledge like, hey, I'm here, but is gonna kind of lean a little bit and not let that like bouncy, slightly like party girl facade drop. But in the like, she gives like a twirl the music and like in step with everyone, and lets the glass.
Okay, very nice. You both continue forward. The music and the merriment around you continues until you come to this sort of inner courtyard where there is greenery surrounding this little depression in the ground. It looks like whatever previous owner of this castle had sort of had this as like a stone garden. So there is a 5-foot like staircase going down into a stone floor where you can see some beautiful flower pots with the Feywild sort of nature emerging from it. And in the center is this open space. At the far end of this depression, you can see in all its glory the main entrance of Novus's manor. Seated in front, in sort of a makeshift throne. You've seen Novus's throne. This is not that. You can see this sort of twisted, gnarled vine, beautiful chair that's decorated with all sorts of flowers and sort of golden filigree. You see your former patron dressed in a familiar maroon dress that looks as though it is made up of large leaves that were all sort of sewn together with golden thread, sort of accenting this dryad-like body. You can see their own flesh is the same rich, healthy green that you would see make up the roots of a flower. Their humanoid-esque hands holding this very beautiful crystal wine glass with similar yellowish liquid within. Their head looks to be a green unbloomed flower bulb that, peering through, you can see sort of similar amber colored eyes that you see coming out of a lot of the Eladrin. But then in the opening at the top where the bulb looks like it's about to open, you see a little bit of purplish glow come from within. And the party continues until the song finishes. Everybody breaks out into applause and laughter and celebration. But as everybody is celebrating, Novus's eyes are squarely on Faraday. And a beautiful hand raises. And as the hand raises, the sound of the crowd quiets. Well, well. Our honored guest, my dearest Faraday, has returned to witness my coronation ceremony. And you hear like some golf claps, sort of like raindrops, sort of echoing around the courtyard. As some of you may know, Faraday was one of our prized members of this court, entertaining some of the foolish mortals who ventured into this realm seeking treasure, and you hear the laughter of some of the immortal creatures around you. It seems my dear has returned home, and we shall welcome her with open arms. However, see, in the time that our dear Faraday had left, we found somebody to take up the mantle as entertainer for those who wander into these woods. And as they say that, stepping from behind the throne is a woman dressed in gray and slightly icy blue attire, mimicking that of some of the dryads and Feywild denizens around you. It looks like it's made up of leaves. It's got this sort of Art Nouveau style, but it's colder. The ends of these leaves have this sort of turquoise-esque glow to them. And you can see a wooden mask is placed over this woman's face with a wreath of beautiful flowers around her head. She's got long, dark hair kept in a long braid that sort of cascades down her back. And at her side, you can see a rapier. And on the other side, you see a short sword. Nova says, "My darling Lily has filled the role and done so well that she is our new family member. And since our guest of honor has arrived, why don't we provide some additional entertainment for all of our beautiful guests here today?" And you hear the sounds of cheers at the idea. "Lily, darling, go introduce yourself to dear Faraday." And this woman slowly steps to the center of the courtyard and just watches. She doesn't step towards you. She just watches and waits.
From the big bib thing. Edgar, like,
As you step away, I just say, "Don't have too much fun." And as I draw Fiona and begin to play your theme song, Bardic Inspiration.
south.
It won't.
when you step into the circle, those who had been meandering in that same little stone garden step away. And when everybody else steps out, there's this little glimmer of light that surrounds this stone garden. And there's these little, almost like pieces of glitter that are just catching the light in the air. But you know that there's some sort of field isolating you two from the rest of the party. Lily, as they are so named, gives a very light curtsy, but their eyes never leaving yours. And now that you get a closer look, you can see that one eye is like a darker bluish gray, but the other a bright fiendish green that almost crackles slightly.
That particular eye? That side?
You don't see any elven features.
Which eye was it?
The right eye. After she curtsies, in a flash, you see she whirls around and draws both blades and holds them in a ready stance. I'll need you to roll initiative. I will set up this scene. Pardon me, while I have to replace Thurston with Dermot. So apparently, that plan wasn't the plan.
Kuja, I'm gonna roll initiative as
That's
well.
our one.
Sure, go by all means.
DM, you're supposed to pay attention.
Listen, we did a lot of talking last week, and I know we made plans, but it didn't really seem like it.
Yeah.
I just appreciate Thurston was so convincing. He convinced Cujo that was the plan.
Exactly. So just in case anyone else was watching.
That's fair.
Alright.
God,
And
this map.
I did not realize earlier, not only did we get that $150 donation, but we also got another $100 donation.
Thank you, Corey.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
that's right.
Nice.
So we are at
Good for you, Tina.
$3,700 right now.
And the
You
beard.
are gonna be real cold this winter at this
Yeah.
rate, my friend.
Yeah.
I might be.
The beard
That's
is what's our
$300 left.
300
It's
for the
4K.
beard.
Okay,
Yeah.
you dropped it down.
Yeah,
Also,
at $4,000, I will shave my beard.
side note, I hit my personal goal to
Oh,
make my bag of hairstyling. I did last
Nice.
Oh, we're
year.
doing that again?
Yeah.
Hey!
nice.
So
You know what?
I can't wait
I'll add
to see
on.
it.
At 4,000, I think I mentioned this on one of my streams, but I'll mention it here, mostly because it directly involves everybody here.
Oh, at $4,000, Cujo should stop shaving and don't shave until this time next year.
Till we hit 5,000.
No one wants
Set the
to
next
see
threshold.
that.
At 4,000, Cujo will
4,000.
stop shaving.
At $4,000, I will devote a stream a week to writing up a full publishable setting document for Bivin.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Hell
yeah.
So
Yes.
that's
need
the
this.
plan. If we do that, I will. That means I'm thinking obviously
I did just
locations,
get paid today.
backgrounds, history, but also I want to have some subclasses and stuff. So I'll have to see if I can sit down with some
Ooh.
designers and figure that out. But
Yeah.
that's only if we hit 4,000. So if you can't donate, by all means, first off, you are loved, you're appreciated no matter what. But if you know of other people who would be interested in possibly another setting document to add to the millions that are out there, share it with your friends. Share the information. Let them know that we are raising this stuff mostly so we can see Dustin go face bald. But then,
Yeah.
have some additional tools to play with. I should
Okay.
probably wait before making comments like that until
Every
Sam's finished his
time.
drinking.
I love
But-
it.
Naked face.
Faraday, what was your initiative?
18.
18. Okay. Dermot, what was yours?
My initiative is 23.
23. Shit. All right.
This map is
Only gave me 2
beautiful.
pack slots. Map is gorgeous.
This map is honestly,
It's
this map
so
is
pretty.
gorgeous.
Huge shout out to
Love it.
Incarnate as well. I forgot to add them to the list. Incarnate is a fantastic map making tool.
Yeah.
They have their own Patreon. They've got a premium subscription so you can have more fun with making battle maps, world maps, whatever you need them for. They're super cool, and they have a crazy awesome community of artists who spend so much time making some fantastic maps out there. I did only a little bit of modification to a map that was already made to make it fit the Feywild.
Jojo was just like, oh, I'll just make this map all the favorite colors.
I'm just gonna do a little fun stuff with that. All right.
I just like
So,
really like
two.
purple.
Just purple is my color, okay? And you know what?
Hey,
Let's do this. Why not?
Cujo, I have a quick question.
I have
Can you
a
stop doing that? Is that your question?
Where is MC Harold?
MC Harold, I never actually put on the map. I'll say
I don't know
that
what
yeah,
that
we'll
is.
use this marker. MC Harold is going to be positioned by the front gate, or like the entryway into this little courtyard. We're going to say that this is them right here.
And
the
these,
Go ahead.
the 2 big blue circles, are those fountains?
Yes, those are fountains.
Okay. I am absolutely not sitting all the way over here on the sidelines.
Okay, by all means,
I'm like,
move your character wherever.
I am like standing right here, and
Sure.
the game is paused, so I can't move it myself.
Fine.
But you said there was a big.
Yes, the circle itself, exactly where that design is, there's that little bit of a glimmer that hangs in the air. I'm gonna say that the 2 Eladrin that came with you lock eyes, if you can see on the opposite side of the map, standing right by Novus, with 2 other Eladrin, one of which matches the description that Ceto had given before you all broke up. The other one seems to be one that you have not encountered yet. But they lock eyes with them and slowly start to meander over in that direction. So I'll say that they're going to go over there and over there.
I see.
You do. Sildor is watching. I'm going to say that this mini is going to, yes, watching with the same sort of, I can't be bothered to show emotion, douchebaggy sort of expression. Standing with very official Singorian robes and a glass of wine in his hand. He's an asshole.
He's a dick.
He is a dick. Personality trait, dick. That's it.
So,
Lawful dickhole set his alignment.
Yeah.
first up is Dermot. Dermot, what do you do with your turn here?
I am going to do something that Novus probably doesn't want me to do, but fuck him. And I am where the fuck is it? I am going to manifest an Eldritch Protector.
Okay.
It is one of
this-
my Eldritch cannons.
Okay, I'll just put this on the field.
You can use the same one. And I will. Am I able to actually no, it has to manifest within 5 feet of me. So I will put it right here, like right at the edge of the barrier.
Okay. You conjure your protector, and first off, as Faraday and Lily stepped into the circle, there's this hush of excitement that sort of falls over the crowd. That as Lily draws her blades, you hear this ooh, like everybody's like, "Oh my God, she has swords!" As you conjure your protector, you kind of glance in Novus's direction, and you just see that little smirk, not having left their face.
I am going to manifest this protector in the style of a giant, like, speaker. And it's just gonna be, like, 6 feet tall. It's just gonna be, like, a tower of, like, amps that is going to project the music that I'm playing.
All right.
Because
I like that.
I'm a Bartificer.
Yeah.
So why the
Bartificer.
fuck not?
So Dermot's basically like Lindsey Sterling playing some dubstep violin.
Yes.
Like, feel that shit in
Actually,
your chest.
'Tis the Season, the exact song that I am playing is Wizards in Winter by Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes.
And I am playing it
Yes.
on the fucking violin.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Make me a performance check.
Do I have to? Is it even worth it?
Just for fun.
It's actually not great. 25?
Oh, Jesus.
An
Dustin.
ass.
God.
I mean, people are kind of into it. No, you obviously,
Dustin,
everyone is
God.
like hyped the fuck up, feeling the music playing and knowing that they're about to see an insane duel before them. Everybody is keyed in, and you hear some clapping, and you actually can hear behind you Ziedler orchestrates some of his musicians to add to the song that you're playing. So you have a little bit of accompaniment.
Sweet.
All right.
And all of that was just my bonus action. Is my action, I'm just counter charming.
Okay. Sounds good. Up next, it is Novus's turn, who takes a drink of their wine. Faraday, we come to you.
She's got too much shit. Okay. Not one to deny a big caster. She will. Bonus action Hex.
Okay.
QB. Then attacks.
All right.
Distance. Feet. Got the reach.
Sounds good.
First attack, she just like uncoils, like with a flick of her wrist, the whip uncoils kind of out to the side, and as it in that moment, the lightning, a static like actual.
Nice.
Attack. 22
22 will hit.
damage now.
Give me damage after, just so we can get a total sum.
Second attack is a 14.
14 will miss.
Alright, so first attack, do you need damage?
No.
6, 10 points. Wait, no, I'm sorry. $12 points.
12 points. All right. You lash out with your whip and see it course through the air. And she looks like she tries to raise one of her swords to block it. And she does, but because it's a whip, the end lashes at her side. And you hear as you whip it back and then go in for a second strike, you see her agilely jump through the air and avoid the attack entirely. As she lands, it is her turn. She dashes forward. She is going to close the distance. And she is going to... As a bonus action, she's going to use one charge of Fighting Spirit to give herself advantage on weapon attack rolls. And she's going to let loose the Hound of War. So the first attack is going to be with the rapier. Will a 17 hit? Okay.
Shield the rapier. Stabs at it.
Just deflects off. All right. She's going to whirl around with the same sword. That's good. That's a 22.
Oh yeah, 22.
Okay. She is going to expend a charge out of the sword. And as she uses the momentum of the rapier colliding off of your shield to whirl around and stab at your side. And as it does, you see just a little bit of a glow come from the crystal blade as it stabs forward. That is 14 points of damage. And she is going to heal back 8 from the glow of that strike. She then rips it back and returns back to a defensive stance. Before we move to the next round of combat, we're going to cut back to the other party real quick. So, you guys can hear, as you continue to walk forward, more of the trees start to move out of the way, as like you're literally hearing word of mouth from a bunch of grumpy old ancient trees just travel along. So you have this constant in the distance as they're all grumbling about having to move for some simple humanoids. As you move, you can start seeing little mushrooms start to come into view at the base of some of these trees. I will say, actually, quick question, Thurston, are you leading this group?
Yeah, that's the most logical thing. He probably wasn't at first. He was probably like just following behind Cad as usual, and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute!" Like as they get closer to the castle, he's like, "I should probably pretend to be in charge here and like step in front."
Okay. I will say, as you continue to travel, Arthea, your passive is 19 for perception, yeah? Or is it 20?
22.
22. Jesus Christ. With your passive perception, you can see some of these little mushrooms shift. And like some of them are like in the distance, maybe about 30 feet off, you see one of them like dash from the base of one tree to another and then implant themselves. Almost like it's like they're totally camouflaged. But you can very clearly see some of these other mushrooms like moving around in an attempt to encircle.
Guys, there's the mushrooms are, I think they're following.
I don't think I've ever heard that sentence before.
I've never spoken that sentence before. Well, I think they're gonna, it seems like they're closing in.
Should we pick up the pace then? Or how
They're
big
any
are
in front? Are I can see them to the either side, kind of slowly going from tree to tree. Looking ahead, are there any that I can pick up, kind of closing off the route forward if I peek that direction?
You can spot that there are a couple that look like they're like moving along your group. You see like some of them try to like bow a little bit to get in your pathway, but it's not like you have a line directly in front of you
Okay.
yet. Some of them are still assembling.
Well, we can hurry up the pace, or we can, for lack of a better phrase, blow a hole through them.
Oh,
I'm not saying we need to move to violence immediately, but I mean, quite
and
honestly,
they seem. Sorry, go ahead.
We could also just talk to them. I mean, they're whispering. Honestly, I kind of wanted to like pick some, but I think that's inappropriate now that I know that they're
sentient?
Yeah. But we could also talk to them. Maybe they can help the trees were helpful. Maybe the mushrooms are be helpful as well.
You want me to talk? You want to talk to him?
I could start talking to him. Hey, what's up, little mushrooms?
I think, yeah.
He was like, yeah, that's totally normal. Duh.
As you let loose the greeting, you just see like you clocked Cedo about like 5 or 6.
Mhm.
You then see like 12, just like like teeny little mushrooms, maybe this big.
wow.
These teeny little legs sprout out of their stalks, eyes open on the mushroom caps, and you see these teeny little spears sort of materialize from the ground as you hear as some of them like rush up, but then like make a formation directly in front of you. One mushroom distinctly, a lot of them are the same like Mario mushrooms, so like red with like some white spots. You see some green, but you see one with gray that looks a little bit more wrinkled, and whose bulb is kind of sagging a little bit. Sort of step up. Who are you to approach our king?
Oh, well, hello. My my name is Bungie. I didn't realize I was in the presence. I didn't realize I was in the presence of a king. And I bow.
I am no king. And you see
You
the
should
older
be.
mushroom
You
points
should
at the
be.
castle. That is, you speak heresy.
Whoa! I was just giving you a compliment. You seem amazing.
All bow in reverence to me and my leadership. What are you doing in this forest? You see, at this point, as he raises his spear, the other mushrooms at their side, they all go, ah! And they all hold them forward. So you just see this, like, gathering of, like, 15 teeny little sticks just pointed in your direction.
Sorry, I haven't beheld such a strong, vast army as yours. I am just, there are no words for the way I'm feeling right now. Just gazing at this grand army.
Make a persuasion check. Just at
Okay.
the general like offering of compliments and showering them with
Oh,
this
God.
vibe.
We actually broke Cedo.
7.
7?
Yeah.
You as you continue to sort of let this adoration for this small gathering of sentient mushrooms out, you hear silence, and you see the teeny little staff like slam into the ground. No sound emanates from it. It's a mushroom. But you see, flattery will get you nowhere. State your business.
What about
What about fire?
I pull out a seed. You can, Cujo, you can pick whatever seed.
All right. You have what? Apples, watermelons,
Apples,
and like flowers?
watermelons. Well, there's plenty of flowers. Yeah. Just you could just tell me. I'll say watermelon, apple. Like I don't even remember all the seeds. I specifically
you grabbed a bunch.
I got a bunch. Hold on, I have a list. Oh, perfect. Potatoes, cucumbers, onions, strawberries, apples, watermelon.
All right.
And then, of course, various amount of flowers.
You produce an onion in your hand.
Are you making a stew?
Mushroom.
I think we might be.
What is this stew?
Here, a gift for your greatness.
You see one of the other mushrooms like nods and then slowly approaches the onion. Spear out, poking it.
How tall are these mushrooms?
The
Good
one
question.
that's the commander is like just under a foot.
Okay.
The other ones are varying between 6 to 8 inches.
Okay. But they're fairly decent sized for mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But the one who poked the onion.
A gift from my people to yours.
The gift will be accepted.
Now, let me ask you this counter question. What are you doing in this forest?
We are the mighty honor guard. We prevent intruders and humans and
You see, they actually like take in the group.
other people from entering our highness's domain uninvited.
Oh, well, there was a mistake. We've been invited to the kingdom. I mean, you can ask my friend here. Points to Thurston, who is obviously looking like an Eladrin, correct?
Yeah. And it's just kind of like glaring at them. Hasn't said a word, just full like death glare this entire time.
I'll say, Cedo, make a deception check with advantage, given, I'll say that, Thurston's visage is assisting in fooling these mushrooms.
We have no humans here.
Lucky 13.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see these mushrooms, still in formation, sort of match the glare that Thurston is giving them, and then you hear,
Understood.
and then the commander mushroom like relaxes the spear, and as they do, the other spears go at ease.
You may proceed.
Thank you, with much
Don't.
respect.
Don't make a mess.
I will try not to. I just keep bowing.
Excuse me. Uh-oh. Oh, Tina for a hot moment was our DM.
I don't know what happened.
You're good. Hello. All right. Well, with that, Sam had stepped away. Well, then we will continue. Is Cad taking care of Doggo? Oh, there.
Same
She's
time.
right there.
They like
Yeah,
sat
pick one
down
now.
at the same time.
Yeah, pick one.
Yeah, oh my god.
literally,
That
like,
was
perfectly
really
in sync.
creepy.
That was creepy, you two.
Both of you
Oh,
guys
I
sat
see
down at
the
the same time, put your headphones on at the same time.
The same
that's-
kind of motion to like put them
Yep.
on. It was weird.
It-
I like the same
clearly,
thing.
there was a glitch in the simulation that we're all living in, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually are the same person.
All right.
Tina's been around both of us. Actually, all of you have.
Yes.
With that, the group that is approaching the kitchen entrance, you essentially have been given full freeway and a military escort by some of these mushrooms who, given that you are in the presence of one of the Eladrin, state,
We must ensure that His Highness's guests are treated with respect. You! Escort!
and you just see like full formation military positions as they march alongside you.
Okay.
With that, we're going to cut back to the combat, to the duel. Back at the top of the initiative. Oh, no, yeah, back at the top, we've got Dermot.
Okay. Do, do, do. Sam, you didn't take any damage, did you?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, you did.
I took like 14.
That's okay.
I mean, I'm.
I am going to. So there's a barrier of some kind around this
That is
circle.
correct. Yes.
I am going to instruct my turret to cross the barrier.
Okay. Actually, does your turret have stats?
I believe so.
Okay.
Possibly. Let me see.
If I recall, typically when you summon something like that, it at least has like an AC, like a hit point max or something. Just want to make sure.
It has an AC of 18. It has shit.
Specifically, what I'm looking for is if it has the capability of saving throws.
All of its ability scores are 10 in the event that it has to make an ability check or saving throw.
Okay, then I will need it to make a Constitution saving throw as it attempts to cross the barrier.
5.
Okay. The turret. Jesus, that was almost max on that second roll. So. Your turret takes 42 points of force damage.
It's immediately destroyed.
Okay. The moment you order the turret to cross the barrier, you just watch it basically. There's this burst of energy that emerges from where the golden little motes of light are surrounding Faraday and Lily, and the turret basically is rent asunder in pieces on the ground. Glancing up at Novus, you just see
with a bonus action, I'm gonna burn a first level spell slot and I'm gonna make another one.
all right.
I love it.
I'll say, you know what? I'll say you don't even need to like use other parts. You just sort of glance at the debris
Hmm.
that's left from where it is, and it just slowly reconstitutes itself back together.
Actually, I am going to, before I do that, I am going to step into the space that it was in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can manifest it within 5 feet of myself, I'm going to try and manifest it on the other side of the barrier. I don't give a damn for his rules. I don't give a damn for this charade. Since when were the two of us ever not a package deal?
Here's what I want you to do.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I want you.
Oh, I mean, that's one way to solve all our problems, I guess. Like,
I'd rather not actually
Um,
do that.
No.
Roll me a d20 and add your spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
Forgot I wasn't muted.
Like, is that out loud?
Wait, did I say that out loud?
Wasn't it?
No. Whatever I try to do, I don't do.
Okay. What was your total? Just curious.
4.
4? Yeah. You try to summon it inside the barrier, and again, there's this little arc of energy that sort of courses right at the edge of the barrier, right where you were trying to summon, and whatever you tried to cast through doesn't go through.
Okay. Do I still burn that spell slot?
Yes.
Or
you
can
do.
I still manifest the turret next to me?
I'm going to say that you do expend the spell slot
Okay.
to try to put it through the barrier.
But it does not rebuild itself.
It doesn't like redirect. It basically swallows the arcane energy and nothing happens.
Okay. I'm just gonna put him over here until I need him.
Okay. All right. Anything else in your turn?
With my action, I continue my counter charm.
Okay. Sounds good. Up next is Novus, who, once again, takes a drink of their wine. After that, we move back to Faraday.
You want to know how nervous I am? I had to write out what the fuck I was doing. That's how nervous I am.
Yay!
Okay. She's gonna shake out her arm, like shake out that hit, and as she does, the whip gives that like that ripple and slide down the length. That spell, Green Flame Blade, attack.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that attack first.
Okay, go for it.
19 on the die.
9. Yeah, I mean that's gonna hit.
So I get an extra D8 of fire damage.
Nice.
$20 points damage.
Fuck. All right.
With that, she feels as the whip connects and like almost like slides up and snaps like back of her shoulder, she feels this burn in skin as a symbol that Faraday now has the brand of cast her. So every time she damages me, she takes. And it actually glows.
Done.
It glows. It used to glow just like this, like almost golden light. It's
Nice. Right.
and because I cast a cantrip, Mystic Frenzy allows me to attack again.
Fuck, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, now you know why I had to write it all down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
23.
23 will hit.
Don't get the blade, but I 20 points.
Oh.
Okay. You attack with the first swipe, and with the green flame sort of encircling and branding her shoulder, you hear this. "Ugh!" And as the symbol reveals itself, I'll say Dermot because you're kind of passively keeping an eye on Novus. You see that smirk drop a little. As the whip is retrieved and a second strike is laid out, you aim higher, and the edge of the whip catches right on the cheekbone. And it snaps, and you watch as her whole head snaps downward, and you hear the clatter of the mask across the ground. Ow. And looking up, you see a face you recognize. Nobody you've met in person. Well, technically not. You see a face that looks a little bit like Cadriel. As you see the face of Zaziel, Cadriel's sister, glaring up at you with a little sick smile on her face. The moment the identity is revealed, she drops a smile and she dashes straight for you. This time, she is going to use another of her fighting spirit to give herself advantage as a bonus action. And you see her style shifts. That's another 22. Okay. We're going to resolve damage with this first one. This is with the short sword. Okay. So it doesn't have any additional charges or anything. But given that she had advantage, she is going to add her sneak attack onto this.
Fuck. That's what got me on fighting Cad. The funny thing is, when we started this fucking fight, I was like, oh wow, long swords, rapiers, short swords, like fighting Cad.
You're fighting her twin instead.
Yeah.
That is another 14 points of damage on the first one.
Takes 3 seconds.
Okay.
I just have
23 with the second strike. Okay. This one is not going to have the sneak attack, so you are going to take 6 more points of damage.
another 3.
Okay. You can see that even though your brand of castigation flares, every time she connects with you, there's a slight irk in her expression as she continues fighting through it. She looks pretty rough after the insane amount of damage that you laid down on your fight, but now that the mask is off, you see this almost rage-filled combat. Her entire style changes, and instead of the traditional sort of impressive warrior, her stance lowers, and she's lighter on her feet as she strikes out towards you. I'll say you do hear, "Lily, calm yourself." You hear from Novus's position. With that, we're going to cut back to the other group. Everybody else, at this point, the escort has led you to the somewhat nestled side door with a small garden right outside the castle. You can see it seems to be made of wood, similar to the rest of the castle. Some of the wear and tear has been reclaimed and repaired by nature around it. Tending to some of the garden is a little gnome. She is wearing simple clothes. She's got somewhat crooked ears, but she's got her hair in sort of a messy bun as she is tending to some of the fruit plants that are around the perimeter of the garden itself. And she peeks up. "Oh, hey there. I didn't see a little entourage come in here. I'm so sorry. You are guests, or I'm so sorry. I'm so confused. I typically don't greet people out here."
So, what? What?
Sorry. I'll just open the door if you. It's fine. And she just like drops her like tools and like moves to the door and like opens it for you and like bows to your presence.
Thanks.
As we're passing by, Cedo slips her a little flower.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Your gift is most appreciated. And she sort of hides her smile. But you are led into a large kitchen where there are all manner of creatures flying around, making sure that food is consistently in production. You see that there are large pots of stew. There is almost like a small corner where there's like a brewery that is like an adjoining piece of this kitchen. You see fairies and pixies flying around. You see one pixie that seems to be a little bit more weathered than the others, shouting out orders to the rest of the staff. No beef in that last stew. We have a vegan amongst our guests. We want to make sure that they are taken care of. Also, do not add in that citrus. We have somebody who's allergic to citrus. Don't include that. Also, we have a gluten-free order, so no bread, no pasta, no anything like that. She's just spouting off all of these orders as she's got this pad of paper and a quill stuck in her ear. She looks a mess. She looks exhausted. As she's shouting these orders, you see she reaches over and grabs like this large, human-sized cup of coffee and just lifts and drinks it, and then just keeps going.
I feel that.
As you all enter, she turns, hey, we have a full operation going here. Can we help you? What are you leading these people back here for?
Yeah, sorry. Look, trying to track down all the people come through the portal. This door was closest. I'll get out of your way. All
Okay,
right?
yeah, please, just move it along.
Yeah.
Make me a deception check.
27?
27.
As
Not
Champions
even...
do get a natural bonus to deception because I don't know why.
oh, no,
That's so weird. She just goes, yeah, fine, whatever. Just come on, go. Hey, what about that soup? Did you remember that soup? I told you about that soup 5 minutes ago. You guys are quickly ushered out from this beautiful kitchen filled with all sorts of smells of food out into the hallway. According to your map, there is a set of staircases just down the hall a little bit. You can see some Singorian elves patrolling. So what is the goal here? It will require some stealth or some social finesse. What is your plan?
I'm so sorry. I had to step away for a minute when I was
That's okay.
expecting combat last time. So we're being escorted in, right? Like not just by Thurston. There's others with us.
Yes, you had encountered a small platoon of military mushrooms that seemed to have been an honor guard of sorts that through the assistance of Cedo and Thurston you managed to convince to let you pass. They offered you an escort to the castle itself. As you step in, they then returned back to the part of the forest where you had originally encountered them. So at this point, it is just you and your group.
Okay.
Before we had gone in, I had wanted to cast something.
Sure, go for
Like
it.
while we were still, I guess, probably before we got to the gnome outside the door.
Yeah.
I was going to cast what looks like Dimension Door, except as it like gets to its sort of door-shaped size, it will condense down into a small bead, and I'm gonna pass it to Cad. So for the next hour, if you need a Dimension Door, you can release that.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I'm gonna put that with the acorn.
That's the oh shit pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the in case of emergency.
Break glass.
Flit would
That's
call
yours.
that her emergency spell slot.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
So now you have your own. Just
You
in
have
case.
2 spells right now.
Yeah, one of which is 4th level.
Which is 4th level.
But yes.
God, you feel power like you've never felt before.
What is
Yeah,
this new
be careful.
feeling?
Yeah, be careful with that.
I assume that Arathea has explained to her before that she can like do this and like give her a spell.
Yeah, she's showed her in the sense that it's already there. She doesn't have to do anything aside from basically release it.
Okay, I just have to break this, right? I don't have to eat it.
I mean, if you want to eat it, you can, but
No, you definitely have to eat it.
There really wasn't. So, okay, when the instructions that I used were not very specific, so I suppose that's one way to interpret it. You know, translations, the wording gets a little funny, but I would suggest maybe not, because if you open the door inside yourself, that would be really, really weird.
Let's make it.
It's
It's a
got this,
really
like,
weird, like
very
internal thought.
But yes, it will actually, there is actually like stats for it. It is a tiny object. It's immune to psychic damage and poison damage, just in case that needs to be happen.
Good.
And it'll last for an hour.
Keep it with the acorn.
Yeah, keep it with the acorn. And I'm gonna knock that off. And yes, I'm obviously went inside. That's done.
Okay. you guys want me to scout ahead a little bit?
That's fair enough. Do you want to take Bird Cedo? And he can be eyes as well if we think that's a good idea.
You know?
Yeah, bird
Sure.
Cedo works. I
Cat
could
will
be
just
rat
go
Cedo.
like, you can get on my shoulder. Don't poop on me though.
That's not the first
Uh,
thing he's gonna
No guarantees. He changes. He changes and flies up on your shoulder.
Oh my god.
Cujo, what question? How big
What
is
do I roll to
that
not poo
bird?
on her?
Yeah, percentile. Roll percentile.
See, do I need a Constitution saving throw to resist pooping?
Like a fucking seagull too, because that is tragic.
Yeah.
Um,
As you're
I'll
walking the halls,
say-
I'm just like screeching.
You're-
Like, is this the bird you chose?
I'll
Why did you
say,
choose this?
I'll say with your wild shape, you know to shift into the smallest of the birds that you saw. So your form shrinks even lower to a bird about this big,
Oh.
a teeny little songbird that flies up and lands.
Adorable.
Oh, you could be like my parakeet and hide in my hair.
Aw.
That's fine.
No.
I used to
no
have
way.
birds. I love birds.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna stealth.
Okay.
I assume that I don't know if Sino has to roll. He's on my person, so
I'll say Cedo, go ahead and roll stealth as well, just for fun. I'll say the DC is rather low, given that you are on a ninja. So go ahead and make me a stealth check as well.
20.
Okay.
I rolled kind of low.
Ooh, nice. 17 on the die. I was trying to
Okay.
find a.
I'll say it's a +2, so 19.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to find some
That's fine.
stats I can go off of.
You both bunker down and stealthily move through the hallway. Cad, you tying your movements to the patrols that are sort of amongst the hall in front of you.
And I will say the other thing that Cad does in this position is she specifically puts Gladius in the scabbard on her back, facing out.
Mhm.
So they have a little system worked out where he watches her back as she's scouting in this
All right. Periodically, you will hear a just very quiet but noticeable, just letting you know that you are safe. If you ever hear a if there's ever two, it means somebody spotted you. If you ever hear a yell, somebody sees you and they're coming to kill you.
Yeah.
But periodically you just hear the perhaps maybe he's a little excited, so you hear it a couple more times than you typically expect, but you move through the halls and heading towards the staircase, you still keep an eye. As you move through, timing your movements with the guards, you can spot at the end of a hallway that you're passing that there is a satyr who's having a conversation with what looks to be a very well-armored Singorian elf. This armor is a little bit more lavish and more... You can tell that this is somebody of rank. The satyr you're speaking with looks kind of familiar. Their features look similar to Dermot's. Same colored hair. You can tell that the nose is a little bit similar, but they have a very different vibe. Where Dermot is very much the performative
Handsomer.
bard. Handsomer, yeah. This one appears more live, and they have this very oddly shaped quarterstaff in their hand. You can see that they have a rapier at their side. And they are speaking, their horns, similar curl shape. They are speaking in a conversational tone with this Singorian elf. If you would like to hear what they're saying, I would need a perception check, but it will pause your progress through to get to the staircase where you have to get to get to where
Simply
Nova's-
because she sees the satyr that looks like Dermot, and after having heard what Dermot said about his brother being the one to control the hive or whatever, she's going to take the opportunity to stop and listen.
Okay, so go ahead and make me a perception check. Cedo, go ahead and make me one as well.
21.
21. Okay.
On stealth, I rolled a 9 and I have a plus 12. On perception, I rolled a 12 and I have a plus 9.
So I rolled a 7. However, I don't know any modifiers.
I'll say for perception, just use your own bonus. That's fine.
Okay.
If it's something where you're like flying through the air or
Oh.
you're making an attack or something like that, then we can look up stats
So
for you.
13
13,
then.
okay.
Ignore that one I just rolled.
With a 13, you can't quite pick up specific words, but you do gather that it looks like there's some sort of check-in between the Singorian general and this satyr, presumably to be Seamus, Dermot's brother. You can't quite pick up specifics, but that's the most you kind of gather from this conversation. Cat. With your keen hearing, you can hear the general say, taking over Kymel should take, unfortunately, because they put up quite a resistance, perhaps 1 or 2 more days. It seems that the Taldori Council had been alerted in some way, and thus they had received some reinforcements. The satyr says, well, I mean, he's not going to like it, because it's more time that's kind of being taken to do everything here, but I can deliver the message. I mean, if you want, given that I kind of have some authority here, I can actually make you go and tell him yourself if you'd like. And you see the general sort of shudder. That is, I suppose I could alert our forces to continue fighting throughout the evening, if that will appease His Highness more. And you hear, that's better. That's better. Actually, can you just come here for a second? And you see the general lean forward, and you see Seamus reach up and sort of like flick the slug. Come on. You guys are supposed to be helping me out here. Do your job. And the general stands back up. We will make the forces fight throughout the night to ensure Kymel's capture as soon as possible. That's all I wanted. Thank you. Yeah, go, do the thing. And you see the general bow and then turn and head in the direction of the main entryway.
So while I'm listening to the conversation, I would specifically like to look at Dermot's brother to see if I can spot a slug on him, to see if, like, I'm trying to discern if somebody's controlling him to control the slugs, like, you know,
Sure.
as opposed to him just doing it because he's a dick.
I'll say, go ahead and make me make me a perception check.
17 plus 9.
Jesus, 26. With a 26, you don't spot a slug on the back of his ear. That being said, because you rolled an obscenely high number, as he is conversing with the Singorian general, you do see this rather consistent glimmer around his staff that very slightly presents itself. You see just this little flash of energy go from the staff, and you see a same sort of color of this arcane energy sort of envelop around his temple. Like something is connected between the quarterstaff and his teeny little brain.
murmur to Cedo. He's being controlled.
I give a very small tweet. Tweet.
You give a Batman-esque tweet.
Tweet. Tweet.
Oh, I'm just picturing Arrow. You have failed this city.
But it's a literal bird, so it's tweet, 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 tweet. But with that, Seamus then saunters into a room further down the hallway. If you continue down the way that you're going, you will come across the staircase. As it is, there are a couple of guards that are meandering about on their patrols, but with a high enough stealth and some decent teamwork, you reckon that the group could make it through this hall undiscovered.
I will go back to where Thurston, Arathea, and Kyoko's with us, right?
Yes.
Are. And I
You
first...
see she has a new bottle in her hand, and she takes a drink.
I'm sure she swiped it from the
Yeah.
kitchen as we were
She
walking.
100% did.
Yeah.
She's like,
Looking at it like,
Legit.
when did that even happen?
oh God, no. And she just like
Cooking
hands
sherry,
it to
isn't
Thurston.
it? It's cooking sherry.
We don't.
Do something with it. I don't want it.
I think that wine is for
Sniffs it.
cooking.
What does it smell like?
It smells like cotton candy and vomit.
Ew.
Big butt.
It's like
Probably
gold
that cotton
stronger.
candy vodka.
Oh God, I had that. Oh, not
He
that.
just kind of looks around and then just like puts
Help.
it on the ground against the wall. Like, I'm just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, no.
It's a total college party thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
uh-huh.
This beer
Just-
sucks.
Just put it behind a vase somewhere.
Put it
Someone
behind,
will
like,
be
a
looking
family
for
photo.
it. Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys are partying right now. Saw Thurston, Dermot's brother.
Mhm.
Doesn't he have like 200 or something?
The one controlling the slugs.
Hmm.
Kymel hasn't been taken yet. The Taldori Council showed up and gave them reinforcements, but the elves are to continue attacking through the night to try to make progress.
We need to get
Dermot's
those
brother seems to
things.
be being controlled as well. I don't know that he's consciously controlling the slugs. If he is,
We need to
Well,
break that.
Dermot fell far from that family tree, I guess. I guess there's a bad egg in every group, but I think Cedo and I can get us all through, but you've got to tread carefully.
Okay.
I
I-
also. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. Knowing that since we've been to Singorn before, and I am rather at least I stick out like a sore thumb. That's just kind of a given. And there may be folks that we encountered previously in attendance. Can I use prestidigitation to make a tattoo of one of those little slugs appear behind my ear? I
Ooh.
can have it put a mark on my skin for an hour.
I'll say yes. Here's the caveat. Given that it's a mark on your skin,
Yes, it would not be three-dimensional.
right? It's not going to be three-dimensional. Essentially, it's going to look from a distance
Yes.
like you have a slug.
Yes.
But
Up
on
close, it would
closer
abs-
inspection, people will just see like discoloration on the back
Yeah.
of your ear. Love it.
Just-
Awesome.
Wild.
Just-
I should have wild shaped into
That's
one of those
fucking
slugs.
Oh, you
that would've been so
Aw.
good.
That actually would have been really kick-ass.
You could have sat on the back of
Yeah.
Cat's ear.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Just in case. Because I
Um,
trust Cad's ability to remain unseen far more than my own, and it might not do anything, but at least I tried.
I start making tweet noises, raising my my wings, and I would whistle. I don't want to whistle into this thing. But making tweet noises, and I point to the back of Cad's ear, like where a slug would be, and then just do like a hungry bird, like what a hungry bird would look like. Just
Oh, eat the slugs.
ah!
I don't know.
I flap
Maybe
really
don't-
excitedly.
I don't know.
No, but when you
What would
touch
happen?
them, they try to attach to you. What if they try to attach to your intestines in bird form? I don't know if that's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely pick them
Wait.
off.
I would say we could
Uncomfortable.
pick them up and put them somewhere, like get maybe in that. Where's that glass that you just put behind the vase? You could just dump them in there. They'll probably die.
Is there like a plant
they're
around
probably
or something?
Wait,
No,
well,
is it
tequila
like half
worms.
full, or is this thing full?
The bottle that Kyoko found, it is like 99% full. She had like not even a sip before
Okay.
she thought it was the devil and handed it to you.
Previous question: is there like a potted plant?
Just dump some in the
I'm gonna say, given that Novus is quite the ostentatious individual, yes, there is a potted plant.
He's going to walk up to the potted plant and start almost pour, and then stop for a second and say, "I'm sorry," and then start pouring because everything seems to be sentient, so he's not sure. Pour like
You
half
say-
of it out.
Drunk.
You say the words, and you pour, and nothing happens. It's a potted plant.
He doesn't know.
No, no.
That was
It's just
respectful.
polite.
That was respectful.
Yeah.
I mean, tweet.
There's like half of it in there, so that
He's just going around like this.
when the slugs go in, I don't know what's gonna happen, but probably not good.
Drown them in terrible.
It's gonna
Yeah.
empower them,
Or
honestly.
maybe they'll get drunk and then they'll tell us all their secrets.
Ah, yeah.
All right.
I'm so glad I finally got to use Dustin's automatic door thing, but in this context. I finally got to do the thing. Sorry. Story time for later.
Does
Anyway,
it feel good?
it felt good. It felt good to be
See?
like, no, it's a potted plant. Why would it be alive?
Yeah.
All right.
You walk through a door. It's a door.
All right. I am going to need. Is everybody trying to move stealthily through the hallway?
Based on the
I'll
scouting,
do my best.
Subtly.
based on the scouting, Kat is going to kind of guide the group around as far, keep everybody as far as she can away from the patrols they saw, and kind of keep to the shadows to try to just, keep it under wraps as much as she can. So I don't know if you'll consider me aiding that as me aiding everybody.
I'll say, given that you specifically scouted ahead, you got the patrol's information, and you are a ninja, I'll say everybody can roll their stealth checks with advantage.
Okay.
Oh, thank fuck, because one of those was a 1. It's still only an 11, but
Okay, all right.
31.
Jesus Christ.
Miss Jackson.
I rolled 2 19s.
Nice.
16.
16. Okay. You
So-
guys stealthily creep through the hall, timing yourselves as the patrols pass each other along the hall that you're crossing. You make it to the staircase and start climbing your way up. We're going to cut back to the combat. At the top of the initiative, we have Dermot. Dermot, you can see through the barrier that Zaziel, Cadriel's sister, is the one that Faraday is fighting.
Mhm.
So you come to that conclusion at the same time that Faraday does. It is your turn. What would you like to do? I love that the whole feeling of this has shifted drastically from the
I don't-
last turn.
My fucking game plan just.
I know, right?
My
mean-
brain is like screaming. So
I
good.
mean, we are friends with someone like a really powerful cleric, so like do what
Yeah.
you need to do. We've got time.
We also have those boxes that keep things cold in the carriage. So
Exactly.
We'll store the body somewhere.
Listen, you gave Kat a dagger of unmaking and then
I-
decided
I
to
sw-
use
I-
her
no.
sister.
I swiped that from her on the way in while she was busy. Mm-mm.
While she was busy taking the dog out.
Yeah. While you were busy sneaking, I just kind of that out because. Mm-mm.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna need that.
Right,
Honey,
Dermot,
already
what you
had
got?
11.
All right. So here's what I got. I'm gonna try and cast. I'm gonna try and cast Major Image into the barrier. And I am going to try and cast it behind Zaziel. And it is going to be the form of Cad calling her name.
Shit.
Okay. What is the check to try and see through it? Is it a wisdom? Or it's a insight, right?
Investigation, I think?
I don't know.
Or intelligence.
I think it's an intelligence-based check.
Because there's no let's see. Create an image of an object, creature, some other blah blah blah.
Say like a
20-foot
deception
cube. See
Yeah.
within range.
Intelligence, investigation.
What is the nature of the
Investigation.
barrier? Because the spell just happens if I can see the place that I want it to happen. Which means that if it was like something like a wall of force, I would be able to cast through that.
Make an Arcana check.
That is a 22.
Okay. With a 22, you can sort of gather that this is almost a limited anti-magic field. Meaning
Okay.
that the field itself is not a sphere. It is essentially a hollowed circle to allow whatever the fuck Faraday and Zaziel want to do inside.
Mm-hmm.
The field itself is just the border.
Right.
So, given that it's limited, though, you feel that a precisely cast spell could potentially make it through this field.
Okay.
Basically, mechanically speaking, I have a DC in my head.
Uh-huh.
You would need to roll the d20 and add your spellcasting modifier. If you exceed that DC, the spell would pass through. If you do not, the slot is still used, but nothing manifests or goes through the field.
Okay. That is a 24.
With a 24, you cast the spell and see the arcane energy leave your hands and pass through the field. The image of Cad appears almost similar to letting her shroud out. You just see this burst of black feathers around you. And Zaziel turns at the mention of her name. And she reacts very aggressively at the appearance of Cadriel, but her focus has shifted to the image.
Okay. There is a long description for this spell.
She, given that it's not her turn, she's not going to interact with it. Just the reaction you see is her focus entirely leaves Faraday to fixate on the image of Cad.
Okay. I'm just gonna throw this out there for your information. as an action, as long as I'm within range of the illusion, which is 120 feet, I can use my action to change the location within a 20-foot cube, um, or change its appearance, or I can essentially like pilot the illusion as a marionette, so that it appears to be reacting to whatever is going on around it.
Okay, I like it.
I am still looking for a DC to disbelieve.
I think it's just your spell save DC.
It's investigation against your spell save.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good fucking luck with that.
You don't talk to me like that.
I talk to you like that all the time.
I know you do.
Almost exclusively, in fact. Where have you
All right.
been?
Right back.
All right, anything else on your turn?
That is my turn. I not really until Faraday uses that bardic inspiration I gave her. There's not much I can really do at this point as a bonus action. So I think that is it for me.
Okay. Next up, we have Novus. Novus is going to again speak out to Zaziel and say, "My darling Lily, please control yourself. It is just you and Faraday in the field." Let's see how well that is received. Doop doop doop. Okay. You can see, even as Novus is speaking to calm Zaziel, Zaziel has murderous intent in her eyes as she glares at the image of Cadriel, believing that she is standing before her. At that, Novus does sort of lift themselves from their seat. Just as the doors to the castle slowly open, and stepping out is a creature similar to Zaziel in that sort of human-esque form. Another female form, long white hair, with some odd sort of haggard face paint. Similar to Zaziel, with one eye that glows with a crackling green energy. She has large, beaten up armor, and slung across her back is a great sword.
Fuck me.
She steps and approaches Novus and says, "Time's up." What? No, just please, just allow a little bit more time. Kymel will, and you can see that they're trying to speak with a hushed tone, but I'll say Faraday and Dermot can pick up pieces. You can hear, no, it's just going to take a little bit more time. Surely by the end of the evening, our presence in the material plane will be solidified and your way through will be open. And the woman says, "Sorry, leader's orders." And she turns to Zaz. "Time to go, kid." And you hear... and Zaziel approaches the image. Faraday, you do get an attack opportunity if you want to take it.
I see a slug behind her.
You do not. I'm going to say you're close enough. And as she's fully turned around, you do not see a slug. No. At this point, all of the people watching the duel are sort of looking between each other confused, and you can see that some of the Singorian elves that you had identified as having those slugs are unmoving. Like something's off. Okay.
Stay
Zaziel.
ready.
Sure. Zaziel's gonna take her rapier, dash forward, and stab Dermot. It's your action to make it do more, right? So
Yeah.
it basically has to be on your turn. Okay. She stabs forward, and the rapier passes through. And you see the green eye turn and glare at Dermot. Novus.
I am just, as Novus is having that like sidebar, I shout like over the whole battle, "Who's that, Novus? Your boss?"
Novus is going to turn. I just want to see something.
How many levels do I have to pump into a disintegrate spell to one-shot Dermot O'Ferry?
No.
Please don't.
He's like, nah, I already know that number.
As you let loose that insult, Novus turns and casts a spell. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You stop
Okay.
harassing the Archfey, please.
No.
As the spell is cast, I'll
It's
say
a natural
Faraday.
20.
All right. Faraday, you see the glimmer fade entirely. With your natural 20, for a moment,
He hits the barrier.
the barrier drops as he casts the spell entirely. For a moment, you find your voice fades. For a moment, as he tries to cast silence on you, and doesn't succeed. At that, you're starting to see that bravado, that sort of charm of Novus start to slowly fade before again they
cast
turn.
Yes, no.
Okay, make your attack roll. I'll say that this a sort of initiative kind of broke down at
Yeah.
this point, so go ahead and do the thing.
First beam, 6,
26 will hit.
the 14.
That will not.
Actually, I'm gonna use Bardic Inspiration.
There you go.
Justin, what is it?
I think it's a D8 still.
19.
Because I'm slacking. I've been studying for other classes.
Are you thinking of switching your major and minor now?
Your
Oh,
major-
I did. I already did.
From music major to engineering major?
Yeah.
Listen, he just wanted to add something practical so that he can be like a sound engineer because, you know, the career opportunities
I
are
was
better.
just gonna say, I mean, you know, having marketable skills in this job market.
Yes, it is indeed a D8.
Be a 19.
Both beams will hit. Go ahead and give me your damage.
15 points.
Okay. Is that total?
That's the 2 beams.
Okay. The 2 beams of eldritch energy sail through the air. And I'll just illustrate in slow motion kind of how it happens. The beams sail past where the field would end, and you watch. First off, as there's just general discourse amongst everybody watching, the moment the beams pass beyond the field of battle, you hear everybody's energy just rise and erupt a little bit. The beams sail through the air and impact Novus as they stumble back, a look of an entire expression of shock on their face as they glare back at Faraday. At that moment, the barbarian woman says, "Yeah, it seems like you really don't have your own house in order. Ready? And just as they raise their hand to conjure something, Zaziel turns and glares at Dermot, almost identifying where the spell had come from. Just as she dashes through the air, sword extended out, ready to deliver a piercing blow with the rapier. Around her form and around the barbarian's form is this tower of green flame, undead-like energy that envelops the both of them, like two skeletal energy-like hands reach up, grab, and pull down. And you watch as both of their forms disappear before you. The moment that happens, it is utter chaos out in the courtyard. Novus still reacting, this time looking fearful at the disappearance of this other personage, and seeing that Zaziel has left, turns and dashes inside the castle. What do you guys do?
What a bitch.
God, that. I'm
So
not gonna
much
say
for
that word
your
on. I'm
new
not gonna say that word
pet.
on Twitch.
I find
Begins with a C.
I find a puddle and take a bath
See you
in it.
next Tuesday, Novus.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't follow.
Okay.
I bolt to Sildor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna follow him.
Not yet.
I'm gonna
anyway.
mock him while he leaves, but
I have something I have to picture.
because all of these people are bad influences on poor innocent Dermot.
Yeah.
You dash
Terrible
for
influence.
Sildor. And he, first off, is sort of taking in the scene and looks worried but confused. And then sees you approach and sort of,
Wait.
like, shrugs back. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, Z's.
I'm just gonna shout, believe it or not, we're trying to help you.
Do you still have inspiration, Faraday?
No, I just.
No, she had just used
Oh,
it.
okay.
She used it to shoot Novus.
With
There's so much going on.
Dermot did help at the very last second. Go ahead and re-roll, just a straight roll.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Are you fucking
I will
kidding
take
me?
a fucking picture.
Yeah.
I will take
Yes.
a fucking picture if you need me to.
Ah. Okay. Just as Dermot shouts, believe it or not, we're trying to help, Sildor doesn't approach, but you just see this. He's almost like doubles over, and as he doubles over, he clutches his head, and from your view, you see the teeny little face of the slug.
I run up and I.
Okay, go ahead and make me an athletics check. I'll say with advantage because he's doubled over. I also like that your hex lights are like, hey!
Did
Are
you
you-
roll another
you
did
natural
not.
20?
Oh.
You rolled
Two
two?
natural 20s?
Oh.
The dice giveth.
I swear
That
to
is a
God, I
big-
will take a fucking.
I
picture.
love it.
Praise be to Gygax.
Yes.
Holy shit. That was 3 natural 20s
In
in
a
the
row.
span
In
of
a
a
fucking
minute.
row.
In a
If you
row.
roll, if you
In
roll
a
another
row.
natural 20, I'll donate lots of money. I'm just saying, if you can roll 4.
Remember all of the shitty rolls I've been having lately?
Yeah.
Like the past year?
Holy
Suddenly,
shit.
All for this moment. You just had to get back to the Feywild.
Allison,
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
the spirit of Taliesin Jaffe has returned to me.
Allison be with you.
Allison
Yes.
be with you.
Do we need to do
And
like
also
a
with
thing?
you.
Yeah.
And
What is it?
also-
Or what is it now? And also with your spirit?
with
or
your
whatever
spirit.
Yeah.
the
With
shit?
your
Spirit.
spirit or
something like
in-
crap
that.
like that.
No.
That's what-
When I booted Novus, my Will Wheaton curse went away.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
made a deal with a bad entity. An eldritch entity. You cannot tell me that's not
Fucking hell.
Taliesin Jaffe.
That is
Yeah,
definitely
that's
Taliesin
true.
Jaffe. Yeah, if we're talking about the vibes that Mako
Yeah.
would give, 100%
100%.
Taliesin Jaffe vibes.
Oh,
On
yeah.
no
Um,
P.
You
I love it.
reach and grab and pull, and as you do, you squeeze in your hand, and you watch as Sildor like has this audible, painful reaction to the slug being removed, And you notice that not all, but some of the Singorian elves that were around him also double over. As you squeeze the slug before it has a chance to sink into you.
Remove the head.
And Sildur's eyes raise. My God. I do.
Out.
Understood. You, men, and you see the other Singorian elves who had doubled over in pain rise with similar disorientation, their faculties slowly coming back to them. You, immediately, go, find a tree, find a way back to the material plane, pull back our forces. And you see that they... Yes, understood. Oh, you see that they kind of stumble off. Some of the other elves, though, do turn and see this happen almost robotically of one mind. Some of the elves that you had freed do venture off to go and do the thing. The others draw their swords and immediately encircle Sildor, and even say to you, Sildor says to you, whatever it is you must do, do it. If you must remove his power, his influence, do it. We will cover the courtyard as best we can.
Where is Seamus?
Seamus
Looks like me, controlling all the slugs.
should be inside the manor. Most likely will probably be at Novus's side, given that the slugs are his primary influence of control.
Said that the elves are circle.
Sort of. Mostly encircling Sildor. But they are also like offering that protection to you guys as well.
Oh, okay. So in defense, not going.
Yes.
Okay, not the.
They're not going after you.
Okay.
There are
I was
others.
I was about to
Sorry.
send him far away for safety, but okay, they're encircling for defense. Okay, cool.
Yes.
That works. That's perfect. Then I will nod at him, and then take off towards the.
Okay.
And as I follow, I just shout to Faraday, I guess we are following Novus.
All right. I'm gonna cut away from you guys. You come back to the other group. This is somewhat happening concurrently, and a lot of shit just went down. So let's
As we're pouring liquor in a potted plant, they're saving the world. So just level setting the difference.
Two different vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've just started to like saunter up the stairs.
Yes. So, you guys make your way up the stairs, and following the map that Faraday had given you, you know that immediately down the grand hallway to your right leads to the throne room. But, per the conversation you did have with Faraday, and your general understanding was that in Novus's quarters is most likely going to be where the true Faraday is. Those are immediately to your right. Stepping inside immediately. What's the marching order here on people going into this room?
I'm on Cad's shoulder.
Okay.
Probably all puffed out like birds do, like when they cull.
Okay.
I think Court, you said you were leading us, right? Trying to like
Yeah,
go around.
I've been having doggy play dates too much lately, so much like a herding dog, she's
Yeah.
probably kind of circling you a little bit, like keeping you like, no, go this way, like
That is absolutely
this
a
way.
border collie, okay? Like if
Uh-huh.
we're gonna assign breeds to each character, Cat is a border collie.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess I'm probably in the middle, assuming single file of some kind.
Okay.
Like if it looks like Arathea is about to like step on something crunchy, Cad probably just like shifts her to the side, you know?
If she gets distracted by something along the way, like, ooh,
All
pretty
right.
magic, and she's like, no, we can't touch that right now.
Yeah.
All right. So, you all step in. The moment that
Can I? Sorry, we're at Novus's quarters, correct?
you were at the door to Novus's quarters.
I
yes.
would first like to check the door for traps.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
Can I assist in some way?
Ooh.
Almost by like, because Cad knows traps, but I know magic a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, can I look for almost like do the other
Glyphs?
side of that coin to help with that?
Yes, I will say go ahead and roll with advantage, given that you are getting some help from Thurston.
Two 19s again, and I have a +9,
Jesus.
so 28.
Okay. First thing that you notice is that the door itself, the locking mechanism is quite advanced, considering that this is the Feywild and everything's supposed to be beautiful and nature and whatever. The second thing you notice is actually, from Thurston pointing this out, that there are some runes that are very, very faintly inscribed between the door frame and the panel that is next to the door knob. So both of them are met. Right now, it looks like they're inert. But you don't... well, actually, 28?
28, yeah.
That's an obscene fucking number. I'll just give this to you. You understand that the trigger for whatever magical trap is if the two lines of runes separate from each other.
So can I disarm it in some way?
Mechanically, no. This is going to require an anti-magic or a dispel magic of some kind to render
Okay.
this inert. Totally.
Okay. And the door's locked, though.
The
Correct?
door... I'll say the door is locked, yes.
Thurston. I can tell the runes are going to activate unless they're dispelled. Magic is weird. I can pick the lock, though. I don't know if the lock will inactivate it.
He'll look at those runes again, say, I can probably dispel this. And oh god, it's Novus. He's really powerful. How high of a spell did he use? God. Sorry, it's the like, which spell slot do I use? How much do I fuck myself over? Now or later? I
Yeah.
don't know.
IDK.
BFF Jill.
Yeah.
Something
I'm-
with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast
Yeah.
Dispel Magic at 4th level.
Split the difference. You know.
You cast the spell, and it goes off. But actually, let me.
There is a check involved. If it's higher than that, there is a
Yes. I'm going to say you are going to have to make the roll.
Okay.
Because this is a higher slot.
trying to comprehend it. My brain is fried today.
You're good. We love you.
Spellcasting ability. Okay, thank you. Just needed to know if I was adding anything or if this was just a straight D20. Oh, you gave Sam all the good rolls, didn't you, Universe? 10.
No, I
10.
I turn back those 6 seconds and you get to roll again.
All right. Go ahead and roll one more time.
I have share in my head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make the check, as this is going to be a higher slot.
That was well worth the same, I think, because that's a 19 on the die, so 24.
Yes.
Like the dice went down the dice tower, rolled, bounced off one end, and rolled almost back up the dice tower, stopped at 19. It was dramatic on this end, I swear.
Love it.
You watch as the runes that line the panel next to the doorknob and the frame slowly dissipate like sand being caught in a breeze. And it looks like both panels are now smoothed over. It seems whatever enchantment was on this door is no longer.
Good one. Chad will get out her thieves' tools and she will attempt to pick the lock now.
Okay, go ahead and make me a lock picking.
That's sleight of hand, right? that
It's going to
correct?
be D20 plus your dex plus your proficiency. So technically, yes, it is sleight of hand, but it's like its own check. I assume you have thieves' tools proficiency.
I do, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, just check, because my sleight of hand is plus 13. Do you want me to roll dex plus proficiency, or do you want me to roll sleight of hand?
It's Dex plus proficiency.
Yeah, it's going to be dex plus your proficiency.
Because you might have, well, as a rogue, do you have, like, specialization isn't the word.
Expertise.
Expertise. Do you have expertise in thieves' tools?
Check under your features and traits. Because that actually may make the decision here.
Thieves can just
No, but you have
yeah.
gives you that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's the
So
same
it
as your
would
sleight of
be
hand.
essentially expertise. Okay, then you would roll with what your sleight of hand modifier would be.
It would be double your proficiency
Yeah.
plus your dex.
That makes more sense. Okay, so I rolled shitty, but I have plus 13, so 15.
15. You start working at trying to unlock the door, and unfortunately, this lock is quite sophisticated. I'll say, as you guys are sort of huddled around the door, trying to get in, you cast the Dispel Magic. You do hear the sounds of marching footsteps behind you as a patrol is approaching. I'll say, Cad, give it one more shot. The DC does go up just a little bit, given that you are trying again.
This time? 13 plus 13 is 26.
26 will do it. You finally figure out how this insane Fey bullshit lock works, and you hear the tumblers fall into place, and you are able to sneak in the door.
She pulls her thieves' tools out as she hears the footsteps coming. Just literally, like any true lady, just shoves them like right here, opens the door, and just like ushers everybody in. With Cito probably still like hiding in the back of her hair, she just slips in.
Okay. You
I
all
pat your shoulder
quickly
with my little wing.
you all quickly slip into the room. As you close the door behind you, you turn and can see a couple things. First off, this room is ostentatious as fuck. You see a 4-post bed that the posts extend up at least 10 feet with beautiful curtains and this, like, it's strange. Space doesn't seem to make sense in this room. You came from a hallway, but this looks like some sort of veranda around you with like open fields and grass that surrounds this little elevated platform that you're on. You can see lavish decor. You see a beautiful chest of drawers. You can see at the foot of this 4-post bed, there is another sort of small chest. Seated on this chest is a gold dragonborn, sort of seated, cross-legged, sort of staring blankly at the ground, unmoving, unflinching, completely inert. Standing next to them is a tiefling. But this tiefling is missing a horn. As she is just constantly murmuring over this gold dragonborn until you enter. Oh, well, this is fucking weird. The fuck are you guys doing here? Well, this isn't how it's supposed. Hey, Faraday, whatever the fuck your name is. Go, have fun. And just as that order is given, the green skeletal hand energy reaches up, grabs around the tiefling, and she is pulled out of sight, completely removed from the space that she was just in. The golden dragonborn glares up in your direction. She reaches behind her as slowly materializing, almost like Mercury, slowly expanding out. A large, haggard greatsword is drawn from a sheath on her back, as armor, similar to the sword, slowly materializes over her body.
Cad immediately pulls the whip off of her waist and says, "Wait!" And like lets it like unfurl and like holds it out to her.
Make a persuasion check.
"18."
That's a natural 20 on that save. God fucking damn it. Just as this gold dragonborn, you see this glow come from her chest and start to emanate from the back of her throat. You watch as her face She said you? We need to get out of here. Sorry about that. And she sheathes the sword. Nice of them to let me keep my equipment.
Can I roll insight to see if like she's basically trying to discern whether she's like faking us
Being
out or
truthful?
not? Yeah.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Did she have weird glow around her
I have no idea. Natural one.
when
Natural one.
the tiefling
Mm-hmm.
was doing whatever she was doing? Was there like visible magic?
There was visible magic extending from her hand to the head of the dragonborn.
And then like,
Other than that, the only other noticeable feature, well, your passive's insane. I'll say you just gather this on sight. Her one eye that is visible, you could see had the sparking green energy.
if Faraday did or the because I'm thinking
The tiefling.
I was thinking if Faraday, there was something after the tiefling left, if there was any visible indicator that she was still being influenced by something.
You did not see any
Okay.
additional energy
Okay.
left over.
Still holding the whip, Kat is going to draw Gladius and just be ready and say, "Is the magic still affecting her?" And like kind of talking to Thurston and Arthea, knowing that they know magic far better than her, they might be able to at least sense something because she's like, "Fuck if I know."
I'll do a light.
Yeah.
I know, light.
Clicky.
Snap lights.
I'll say if you want to discern if magic is still doing something, I'll say roll an Arcana check.
Do the thing.
27.
Jesus.
20. Just going to there, and I mean.
God, Thurston, we don't just be there.
Phone it in.
True fucking.
Miss Jackson who?
You know. She's a true magic nerd. She studies it. And she just kind of like
it happens.
does it.
Like sometimes I wave my hand like this and stuff happens.
Yeah. Arthea is book smart. Thurston is street smart. Only when it comes to magic, though.
Yeah. In general, that's just the story of the two of them. So realistically, they shouldn't do anything else.
He's like really good at lamination.
Serious.
Yeah.
They're both very
Oh,
good.
I forgot to add that spell to my spell sheet.
They're
Thanks
both
for
very
the
good
reminder.
at numbers. They're good math. They math very
Damn
well.
it. the two of you study this gold dragonborn very closely. And Arathea, similar to before, you don't see any lasting glamour or energy around the area. Thurston, you don't see any slugs. You don't see any other, or sense any other magical effects currently around the Dragonborn. As far as you guys can both tell, it seems that this Dragonborn is free of any charm or domination that was once on her.
And who do you think sent us exactly?
Oh my god, my mind blanked. Sam, what's your character's actual name?
Neris, the little one, a fan of the whips, similar to the one that you have. She was
Neris?
She was a fan of the buns, so the sort of fashion statement of that. She was not a fan of keeping her hair down by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It gets
Gundy-
really messy.
it honestly does. I need to.
Yeah, and Dermot was sort of, I don't want to say a bad influence, but just sort of pushing her in her own direction, wherever she wanted to
Yeah,
go.
you've explained enough. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect, good.
Yeah.
But we know her as Faraday.
You see her expression shifts.
That damn little elf.
And she smirks.
Is she with you? Is she amongst your number?
She is
She's,
providing a distraction with.
she's taking care of.
With him?
No, no, and she like starts moving to like push past you.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Calm,
Okay.
calm down.
We're going.
She's
we
quite
can't.
capable.
I'm
Yes.
well aware of that. I trained her myself, but we cannot. I do not trust that he does not have something up his sleeve. We need to go. We need to stop him. We need to kill him if all possible.
That's
This is
also on the
hers.
to-do list.
That was actually.
Kat will hold out the whip to her and say, "This is hers." I'm great at weapons, shit at whips. So she would probably prefer you use this until she gets it back.
Faraday, true Faraday, will take the whip and see that it's all weathered.
I told her how to take care of this thing.
She kind of like still gestures to the sword and just says,
Soon, don't worry. I have an old friend to hang out with.
and then she attaches the whip to her side.
Does your sword
Just
talk too?
What? No. Why would my
That goes,
sword
Gladius,
talk
are
with
you
a
ready?
sword?
Fucking
I am
scenario.
always ready for combat, and you just see
Honestly, compared to some of the shit that's happened in here, that's nothing new.
And then she just says, "We need to go."
Yes.
Are we going to Faraday, or are we dealing with the other problem, which is
Attention. Well, we have to find Dermot's brother, and
Oh, Seamus, that fuck.
oh, is he really that bad? I mean,
He's not. Dermot is like a warm soul. He may be a little bit loud sometimes, but he means in all good fun. Seamus sort of believes his own hype a little bit too much. A little cocky.
Well, he
but
seems to
not
be
in the
being
charming
controlled.
way.
is
No.
he being controlled, or is he the one doing the controlling?
I don't know. He was holding on to a staff thing, and there was something coming off of it and going into his head,
Yes,
and like,
it's-
you guys
Oh.
know, all I can do is this.
It's
She
both.
just
It's
Oh.
both ways.
Okay.
As I understand it, with my somewhat magic, it's all bullshit to me, to be honest. But the way I understand it, Novus enchanted the staff to control the hive of the slugs. Then, upon granting it to Seamus, also offered a curse to have him follow Novus, and then That's how it worked, right?
So if we take the staff and
Sounds
break
like-
it, say.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Well, at least for the slug part.
Oh,
For
yeah.
the other part, who knows?
The personality part?
Oh, well, I don't think anything can fix that.
Well, we would at least, if we break the staff,
I-
have less enemies to deal with, and I think
Yes.
that that is probably our best bet if we're going to
Yes.
try to confront Novus.
I saw where
Yes.
Seamus went. He's in another room down the hall.
I would
another-
always bet on him not being too far from Novus. The two of them have become somewhat like this.
I
Well,
mean, I might be able to grab that staff from a distance if I can see him.
All right,
Okay.
well, shall we?
Maybe.
yes, as covertly as possible.
Of course.
And Cat will just kind of go, Cito, you good? And just give him a little scritch.
Oh, does
He just is sweeting. He's like,
Oh.
Aw.
does OG Faraday? Because I am in the Summer Eladrin's form. Does she recognize me? Like, I'm just trying to see what her reaction to me was.
Right.
A lot of her communication is centered on Cad, as Cad was the one to present the whip. Everybody else is like, "Oh, cool, she brought friends, awesome." I will say, even with your passive perception and passive insight, she's regarding you with a uneasiness, recognizing that there's something different. I mean, you're talking about taking the fight to Novus. You're talking about, removing the problem of Seamus and all this stuff. So it took her a second, but she recognizes that there's something off about how you are behaving, even if you are looking like the Summer Eladrin.
Oh, she's not like gonna try to kill me because she thinks I'm an enemy. Sufficient. I don't think I'd win that fight.
Sure.
All right.
Well, again, we need to get out of here.
Mhm.
As
Right.
we start to exit Novus's room, can Cad do like a quick, like little sweep of the room to see if there's anything she can, 5-finger discount?
Steal.
Yeah, 5-finger discount me some magic.
He's not
stuff.
in the room. You can just say steal.
Is it really
Deal.
stealing?
me-
It's not his shit anyway.
Make me a perception check.
That is 27.
Steal me some good shit, Cad.
With a 27, you do spot on the chest of drawers. First off, you see a lot of beautiful sculptures, you see a lot of decoration, but you do see this small leather case. Looks like it houses something.
I'm holding.
All right. Mark down that you have a mysterious leather case in your
Alright.
inventory.
All right.
As Cad is doing that, like, he sees Cad start swiping shit, and it triggers a thought in his mind. Could he go to wardrobe, closet, whatever Novus has, and take an
Yeah.
article of clothing? He's still never met Novus, so he doesn't know what they look like, but if he gets a glimpse, that's all
Yeah.
he needs.
Make me an investigation check.
is there a
If the
likeness?
person doesn't know where
Oh,
a
God,
closet
you're right.
is, sir. I'm
Seriously.
offended.
I am like quite frankly of disbelief that Novus doesn't have some fucking
Yes,
giant
sorry.
portrait of themselves on the wall.
It's
Fey closets are weird. He got confused. It's only a 3.
it's not
Is
actually a closet.
Is it like the clueless closet?
It's kind of like
Where
You
it's
don't know how
got,
to make
like,
it work, so
yeah,
it's just like
you don't know
going
how to
like
make it
this.
work.
you just see
The
all different
carousel.
colors and textures smushed together, just cycling through.
Does he organize by season? Does he organize by type? What? This makes no sense. There's no logic to this. You organize by type. You organize by season. You
Maybe you should
rotate.
just go
Function.
with color for now.
Function.
What's your favorite?
Mine? I don't know. I tend to just wear our family colors when I need to do
Yeah.
anything. So I guess more of a royal blue.
Yeah,
You're
give him blue.
definitely not Summer then. I just want to
Oh,
make
she's
sure.
kind of a bitch.
Oh,
And
yeah,
for
not
a moment,
exactly.
he'll just kind of like change his face to Thurston's face.
Understood. Not gonna lie, almost punched you out. We're good now.
Thought though.
Very much glad we sorted that out. Sorry for the subterfuge. It's to make sure we could walk around with a little bit more cover.
Sure. I'm getting a noble.
Yes.
Understood. Take your time.
No, the clothes are. It's.
Sure, it's fine. It's totally all right.
So that it's so he can.
Yeah, he doesn't
has to
actually care what he grabs. Yeah.
If he has to impersonate Novus, he needs to look the part.
But yeah, he's
Right,
just gonna grab like something that looks like a set of nice seeming robes. Like, oh, he's supposed to be at his coronation, so it's gotta look fancy. But you know,
You are noticing. Okay, so you grab a simple, a nicer set of clothing. One thing of note that you do spot is that a large majority of Novus's wardrobe is of a dress variety. You are seeing some suits and some nicer sort of male gendered outfits, but for the majority of it, it does seem to be very nice gowns that all have a very natural sort of theme. You do pick one out that is, well, would you prefer, I should ask, a male or gender neutral or more female-esque outfit?
if the majority of the clothes are more dresses, then he would go with, well, this is apparently what he normally wears, and so that's what makes sense
Cool.
to pick out. If you think that he hasn't put on a dress before,
This is
Oh,
purely
God.
for preference on what Thurston would look for.
He has
Also
sisters.
considering Thurston
sisters.
disguised himself as Cadriel's
Yeah.
sister for like
A while.
also,
Yeah.
I have it in my head that Gracia, when she couldn't pick an outfit,
Oh,
would
absolutely.
make Thurston
Thurston
come
model
in, put it on. She'd wear one, and he'd wear the other, so she could see them both next to each other live and in person.
I
And then
was
she could figure out what she was going to wear.
Good lord, that's the fucking coolest little sibling thing ever. I
I
love
also
that
feel
so
like
much.
when that happened, Thurston would give her like zits.
Yeah, he would probably like make his face or make her hair do like weird shit.
Just do like dumb faces in the mirror.
Yeah.
She'd be like, stop it.
That's not what I look like.
Kind of
Yes.
is.
You pick out a gown that has elements of each of the four seasons. That it's strange when you first touch it, it looks like it's a spring outfit. Then the more you examine it and sort of like feel the texture, you feel right along the seam along the side, and you watch as the colors shift to show winter. Then you sort of play around with it a little bit more, and the colors once again shift to be summer. So you essentially now have a glamored gown that, upon activation, can shift color-wise to be whatever season you'd prefer it to look like.
All right.
While we're swiping shit,
God damn it.
I'm just saying these people are terrible influences.
That's fair.
If we're swiping stuff, Novus is doing some kind of ritual. Are there magic books in this room that I can take?
Make an investigation check.
Wow.
Wait, wasn't
Oh, that's high.
wasn't OG Faraday sitting on a chest?
Yeah.
He's gotten up at this point, but yes,
Yes,
there
she
is
was
a
sitting-
chest in the room.
I fly
Yeah.
over to the chest and
It's a
start like
27.
tapping it.
I will go over and like open the chest for Birdsino.
Arthea, what did you get on yours?
27.
Fucking Jesus. You find that there is a small shelf filled with several different books, the majority of which are histories of Exandria. Tucked in the bookshelf, you do notice that there's one dark leather-bound book that seems out of place with everything else. As you pick it up and flip through some of the pages, you can see that it is a spell book, but the runes are all backwards.
That's going to be a later thing.
Mark down
Mhm.
that you have a backwards grimoire in
Okay.
your possession.
Yes.
Cad, you lift open the chest. Cedo, since you're the one diving in, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Mhm.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw. This is actually a bag of devouring.
It's actually a mimic.
It's a 2.
Can I like assist? Because Cat would be
I'll
like
say
looking
with
him.
assistance, that's fine. I like that this covert fast operation is 100% on pause so you can loot the big bad.
I'm doing it
Listen.
for a
Yeah.
reason.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Are you fucking...
Side note, I was idly rolling a d20 and I rolled
do I have to donate
Another
money?
one.
Okay.
another
right.
one. I can't believe you
Another
got
one.
it.
Fine.
He's gonna kill us all. TPK.
Roxall.
Roxfall.
Novus
Yeah.
suddenly
You find your
bursts into
demise.
the room.
Alex collapses.
You are digging through this chest, and unlike everything else where it's presented very nicely, it looks somewhat organized, if a little lavish. This chest is filled with a bunch of stuff that doesn't match what else is in the room. You see a simple set of, like, civilians' clothes. You see, like, a survival kit. You find some other sort of mundane objects in this chest, except for a green, roughly cut gem. What do you do?
I try to pick it up with my little bird mouth and try to fly away with it.
Oh, Jesus.
For that, I'm gonna need an athletics check. As
thought
this
you were gonna
gem
say it.
is essentially about this big.
I thought you were going to say a con
But-
save.
Wisdom saving.
I'd just be like, do you need help, Sita?
You can I rolled a 14,
Oh,
but
14 will
I
do
don't
it.
know if that is the. That's probably not the bird's strength. So
I'll say that that's fine. The
Okay.
second you come into contact and start moving the gem around, you hear, "Oh, is it time again?" somewhere in your mind of a very sing-songy voice.
if there was a way to say "uh-oh" and bird, I would be doing it.
I'm holding.
oh my God. We
Given-
can introduce it to our Ruby.
Given that this communication went through your mind, you hear, "Oh, you're not Novus."
Oh, nope. I'm not. You're very observant and quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. I suppose... Are we in a safe spot for me to come out?
I don't know. In safe in what context?
Well,
In my mind?
tell me, where in Bivin are we, specifically?
Oh, you're not.
Oh,
So surprise.
This could be so
Interesting.
bad.
but that confuses me.
What's your name?
Oh, well, I've got many names. Persephone being one. Typically, people call me the Siren, though.
Oh, that's a really nice name. I have some followers that call me Bungie.
Well, isn't that a wonderful name?
Thank you.
And again,
Yours is
this
also.
voice is very sing-songy, very
Mhm.
beautiful. It's almost musical to your
Yeah.
ear, to your
Yeah.
mind.
Your voice is quite beautiful, by the
Well,
way.
thank you. I pride myself on my instrument.
So, yeah, so sorry to deliver the bad news that you're not in Bivin, but I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing for you. How are you feeling?
Well, confused, but you
That's
seem
okay. I'm
nice.
like that most of the time.
Tell you what, let me.
Tell me.
This might be easier. And the greenstone, by the way, Cadriel, you're kind of watching Cedo Bird gripping
Just
this
frozen?
stone with his beak, but just frozen still.
I have my wings out, though.
Just gonna like reach down and just grab the bird and the stone and be like, "Come on, bud, we gotta go."
As you lift, the
God.
stone glows brightly. And
What the fuck did you do?
slowly the light envelops the room until it fades. And standing before you, holding the same bird that you're holding onto, is a gorgeous woman wearing almost glowing white robes and long, beautiful platinum blonde hair that cascades all the way down to the floor. Her eyes are a little bit wider than a normal humanoid's, but they come to a point at the very end, and she has almost elf-like ears, but a little bit longer and a little sharper. She
Can,
says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This is not what I expected."
can I have my bird back, please?
We're going to pause there.
Uh-oh.
Somewhere else. The wind kicks and batters at the top of a scar on the land of Bivin. The apex of Moondos Finem in Bivin crackles with arcane energy as 5 pillars of green energy appear at the very top and slowly fade to reveal the children of Vecna. Each of these creatures bearing a crackling green eye. One of which, Zaziel, sword still extended out, lets out an exasperated breath before she slowly sheathes her blades. The tiefling. Well, that was fucking weird. I mean, there's been a lot of shit that's happened in the last, like, minute or so. And the barbarian growls, "Silence." Each of them turns and takes a knee at the other end of the tower, where, cloaked in shadow, someone watches. The barbarian speaks again. "He failed us, Father. Unfortunately, the Fae must go the route of their cousins and must be culled." The camera pans back to the creature that these children are speaking to. And a green eye, pupilless, irisless, this ball of energy is the only thing visible in the shadow of this towering throne. A hand reaches up
and says, "Let it be so." And that's where we're going to call it tonight's session.
Fuck.
Well, shit.
Well, damn.
Did this just turn into a different kind of rescue mission?
Fuck.
I'm just frozen on
I'm
that
sorry,
stone
Mario.
still.
Your princess is in another castle.
Thank
It was
Oh.
so good.
We will pick this up next week. Just as a reminder for those who missed earlier, our stretch goals have been moved up to 4,000. So if we get $300 more in donations, first off, an all DMs session with all of the DMs who participated in our Extra Life game day, we'll be playing in a one-shot together.
Yay.
Our dearest friend Trig will be doing the one chip challenge and recording it so that we can spread it to the internet for some comedy. Dustin will shave the glorious dwarven beard he has rocked for I don't even know how long. And I will devote a stream a week to developing a Bivin setting document for D&D.
Yes.
So, anybody who is watching this, if you cannot donate, that's perfectly fine. Share, so that we can get some more support, so we can hit this stretch goal. Because I don't know about you guys, as cool as the stretch goals would be, saying that we raised $4,000, that's so fucking cool. So we love you all. Be nice to each other. And we will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, Internet.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.